Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork in their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank. This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork in their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, by Beto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
This broadcast on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by ProStyleProduction.com. It's time for Minot High Magicians Hockey.
Comes down low to the near side. Bennett walks out with it. Bennett centering, feed, fires it. Easton Bennett scores. It's 4-1 Magi on the twisted wrister from Easton Bennett.
The growing tradition of Magi hockey carries on today.
He scores, and it's a hat trick for Hayden Schwartz. Tic-tac-toe play at Mason Morelli with the backhand, slips it past to that minor. Here's Martell drive, scores! Martell, Fuchs, and the Magi are on the board with a power play. 40 seconds in OT, a drive coming back to our Fuchs, scores! Plum gets surrounded by Plum, then he fires, he scores!
With one goal in mind.
Face off one back to the Knights. Minot High is winning the state title. They have won the state championship.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, by Beto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Boy, Tide sends it down. Bennett, top shelf backhand, right where Grandma keeps the cookies, and it's 5-1. Out of Gretzky's office, Bennett feeds Hyde at the line, near side. Hyde tunes it in, tipped in front. Vile tucks it home, and it's 5-1. Leanne's handling, whistling, firing into the glove. No, he scored. It's 2-0. Heads, tattoos at home, and the Magicians lead.
It's time for the Minot High Magician Hockey Planet Pizza pregame show. Planet Pizza, the area's ultimate party location, has been serving the Magic City for over 20 years. Call and order now at 701-852-1700.
Colby Ends will start the rush. Ends has a big hit at center ice. Welcome to senior night. Plenty of noise. Easton Bennett absolutely lights up Ruley. There's the hit of the game, maybe of the week.
Now, let's go to the ice with the voice of the Magi. Here's Nick Hulberg.
54 all-time combined trips to the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament for the Minot High Magicians and the Jamestown Blue Jays. Minot High has 35 of them, but they didn't make the big dance last year. They did not qualify for the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament. Jamestown picked up a qualifier position after a win in this same day last year on the same ice surface for their 19th all-time appearance at the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament. Today, these two teams go head-to-head. One of them will go to the Shields Arena in Fargo, North Dakota. The other is going to be done. They're going to get the golf clubs ready. It's win and go on, lose and go home. The season's done for the loser. The number 3 seed out of the West region belongs to the winner. Good afternoon and welcome to the Planet Pizza pregame show for what should be a barn burner today between two hockey teams that come in as the 3 and 4 seeds here in the West region, and one of them will have their season ended early. Nick Hulberg alongside of Noah Grant for the call today. on the Planet Pizza pregame show now. And then for the play-by-play for not only this one, but the region title match that will see number 1 Bismarck against number 2 Century. That follows this one on ProStyleProduction.com. Planet Pizza, the area's ultimate party location. School parties, team parties, birthday parties, and so much more. They truly are out of this world. They have free laser tag on Monday and Wednesday. That's right, free laser tag Monday and Wednesdays. Head on over to Planet Pizza or call them now at 701-852-1700. They do deliver, and it is the best pizza in Minot. It's been that way for over 20 years. Welcoming in now my broadcast partner for the day, Mr. Larry McFall cannot be here, so it's Noah Grant to my right tonight. Noah is a 2-time national champion at Dakota College at Botno for the Lumberjacks, and if you're a high school hockey fanatic, you'll remember that name from the mid-2000s to early 2000 teens, where Noah Grant played for the Botno Braves and one of the top performers in the state of North Dakota. You've been in these situations before, Noah, where it's win and go to the state tournament, lose and go home. From a player's perspective, what's going through the mind of these kids right now, knowing that this is the biggest game of the year, hands down, because if they don't win, their season is absolutely over?
You know, the reality is, you know, Minot gets a win against Jamestown 3-2 earlier in the year, then loses 2-1 against Jamestown. We can talk about stats all day, and that's what we're going to do because that's our job. But the reality is there's 60 minutes on that board, and the team that puts more pucks than that is going to win a hockey game. The stats, you know, they give us a precursor of what this matchup will see. Minot comes in with 24 points, Jamestown with 22, essentially identical records in region play. But it's a hockey game. It's, you know, it's what every kid dreams of. You know, it's the Game 7 Stanley Cup final. Win or go home. You've got to make it happen. And as a player, you're just trying to find your game first. You're trying to be the team that can settle things down and essentially calm the nerves, because, you know, once you get that first shift in, once you get that first hit in, it becomes just another hockey game. It's weird to think about as a fan because, you know, we're all uptight and we are, you know, we have no control over the game, but as a player, you just want to get going. I mean, you're anxious. I mean, these guys they're ready to go, and they just want to get that first shift in.
Well, the tournament started on Thursday here at the Pepsi Rink in the Magic City at this beautiful venue, the Mesa Arena. This is the premier outlet for hockey in western North Dakota. It holds 2,200 people. The light show was going yesterday for the semifinals. Lights are dim now, and when it all started on Thursday morning, it was number 1 Bismarck High that rolled Botno Rugby in that one. That was the number 1 against number 8 seed, so Bismarck went to the semis. Number 4 Jamestown played number 5 Dickinson, and this was a hockey game that was worth the price of admission. Multiple overtimes there, and it was Dickinson that prevailed to meet up with Bismarck last night in the semifinals. So Jamestown had to do it the tough way. They had to go down into the loser out bracket and play Botno, where they didn't have any trouble yesterday. They won 6-1 there. Minot, on the other hand, came through the winner's side of the bracket. They beat Mandan, the 3-6 matchup. Minot High, the top seed of that matchup. They go on to win in a 5-1 affair against Mandan. They had to play Bismarck Century, the number 2 seed. Coming into the tournament, they shellacked Williston on the opening day. So yesterday it was Bismarck and Dickinson in the semi, Century and Minot in the second semi. Bismarck rolled Dickinson there, so they advanced to the championship. They punched their ticket to state. Century does the same thing against Minot last night in loser-out play. It was Williston and Mandan gets the win there. Jamestown wins over Botno, like we mentioned. So Dickinson and Mandan just got done. That was for the number 4 seed in western North Dakota, heading to the state high school hockey tournament. And without a doubt, probably there is a chance that Central won't be the number 1 seed coming out of the East. But if you're a betting man, you can just about bet every dime that you have that will be the case. Mandan squeaks it out 1-0. They win over Dickinson. They will be the number 4 seed. Minot and Jamestown, whoever wins this one will be the number 3 seed. How about that last game we just saw? Mason Matter, the goaltender from Mandan, the senior net keeper that's been there for a few years, that comes in after Sawyer Schmidt's impressive run for the Mandan Braves, shows why he's in the conversation for one of the tops of the West region. The shutout and a huge performance. Mandan going back to state.
Yeah, you know, coming from Botno Rugby, I definitely have nightmares of Sawyer Schmidt, you know, sending us home, trying to get to a state tournament. But, I mean, I love 1-0 hockey games. It's a goaltending duel. Who's going to be the goaltender that blinks first? And for Mandan, I mean, they've had an impressive program that just always seems to stay in the hunt, always seems to stay in the conversation. And, you know, a well-deserved win that, you know, you had two goaltenders that, you know, equally had an opportunity to bring their team to a state tournament, and two teams who were pretty well matched. But, you know, at the end of the day, 1-0 is 1-0, and one team's headed off to Fargo.
There will be one more team heading off to Fargo, and this one team heading home. State play-in game. Minot and Jamestown. We'll have the call for you here on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network this afternoon, followed by the region title game on ProStyleProduction.com after. Planet Pizza pregame show rolls on. When we come back, we'll dive into the numbers of this one and listen to who to listen for in this matchup. Some of the state's up-and-comers are in this one here today. We'll be back with more. This is Minot High Magicians Hockey.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Vibeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork and their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Systems go for lunch break when supper time's a crunch. T-minus now, it's time for Planet Pizza. With lots of space for fun, there's room for everyone. From me and Ariane to Planet Pizza.
Let's go to the ice with the voice of the Magi. Here's Nick Hulberg.
Well, it will be a fun one today. The 7-6-1 Jamestown Blue Jays in Minot to take on the 8-6 of the West Region, the Minot High Magicians. With those two records, the Magicians ended up the 3 seed. The Blue Jays ended up the 4 seed. Now they meet, and that will decide who will be the number 3 seed heading into the state high school hockey tournament in Fargo next week at the Shields Arena. Nick Hulberg alongside of Noah Grant for the call here on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network and the final day of the 2019 West Region Hockey Tournament. This matchup today features a Jamestown team that has a goaltender by the name of Riley Gerhardt, who's a junior. He's played in 22 games, Noah. He sits on a .917 save percentage and a 3.46 goals against average. He's been good in the tournament so far. Minot High goes back with their sophomore Trey Sortland after Odie Nelson played last night. Trey Sortland sits on an .898 save percentage and a 2.08 goals against average. In games like this, when you've got guys up front for Jamestown, Jace Thompson, 38 points on the year, 30 for Tommy Falk. You look at the Magi led by Peyton Fillions, 27, 22 for Nick Murphy, there's guys that could score on both teams. You get into these matchups today where it's do or die. And again, it's the old cliche, but it's never more prevalent in a game like we have on our hands where it's win or go home. And the goaltenders certainly have to be the top players on the ice today. And two teams have two of them in the blue paint today. What do you expect out of this contest today? Do we see a low-scoring affair, or do we see goaltenders that might be a bit shaky today? You never know in these situations.
You know, we might see goaltenders that'll be a bit shaky. We might see players that are going to be a bit shaky. Out of the top 5 scorers for both teams, there's only one senior in Mason Deal for the Magicians. So Riley Gerhardt, he's seen 955 shots this year. Jamestown gives up the most shots per game in the West. But I mean, he's been solid. I mean, he has good numbers, but I mean, he's seen a lot of pucks. So, you know, goaltenders are going to have to be, you know, the make or break here. Can Minot continue the trend of out-shooting a team like Jamestown and getting pucks to the net early? Can Riley Gerhardt stand tall? And if he does stand tall, can Jamestown turn that pressure back against the Magicians and earn a state berth?
Well, you look back to the year that Minot High won the state title in 2015. It's an eerily similar situation where Minot High got a win on day number 1 down at the VFW Sports Center of the WDA tournament. They lost in double overtime to Century the next night, and then it was Jamestown that they had to play to advance to the state hockey tournament. They did, and Minot High did that, and interestingly enough, there was a big upset on the east side of North Dakota. Devils Lake got a win over there. Devils Lake ended up becoming the number 2 seed. Minot High left the West Region tournament as the number 3 seed, and that really unfolded for Minot High to have a situation where they played Devils Lake in the first round of the state tournament, played Fargo South the next round, and beat Grand Forks Central for their second state title. The point being is that in these situations, you never know when you get to tournament time, and that's why it's fun. But at the end of the day, you just want to be playing your best hockey. From what you've seen from Minot High, they didn't give that on Friday night, I didn't think. But last night, the matchup with Century, they certainly looked good against Bismarck Century, a 4-1 loss for the Magi. But it seems like Minot High has turned a page and is certainly playing some of their best hockey of the year right now. Yeah,
and you know, as we go back to goaltenders, you know, they were under the gun early. They were down 2-0 within the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, and you know, anybody, it doesn't matter what level you're at, a 2-0 lead is very hard to climb back, especially as you get into you know, hockey that has higher levels of play. So, you know, for the Magicians, we talked about it last night, their start needs to be better, because I think their finish was really good, especially when Hunter Cope was able to score. They could have used probably an extra 5 minutes at the end of the second, because it really jump-started them, and they were able to control a little bit of the play, but then all of a sudden, you know, they give up one glorious opportunity, and the shoulders start slumping because, you know, they're playing so well, but they're making that one key mistake. So if they can limit their mistakes, come out and be the team that puts Jamestown on their heels, they've got an opportunity to win this game.
It's a must-win for the Magi. They take on the Jamestown Blue Jays. We sure appreciate you for joining us on the Planet Pizza pregame show. When we come back, we'll talk to Jason Bennett, the co-head coach of the Magi. We'll get his thoughts heading into the final day of the West Region Tournament. Then we'll face it off, the Blue Jays and Magi, toe-to-toe, here at the West Region Hockey Tournament. This is Magi Hockey.
Systems go for lunch break when supper time's up front. T-minus now, it's time for Planet Pizza. With lots of space for fun, there's room for everyone. Don't be an alien to Planet Pizza. Space for Planet Pizza. Planet Pizza.
It's time for the Planet Pizza pregame Coach's Corner. Get your game plan for laser tag in the largest laser tag playground in the region. Did we mention the cheesy, delicious, mouth-watering first bite of a Planet Pizza pizza? Now, here's the matchup's insight with the Planet Pizza Coach's Corner.
Joined now by the Minot High co-head coach, Mr. Jason Bennett, for the pregame Coach's Conversation, brought to you by Planet Pizza. First of all, Jason, thanks for some time here today in the final day of the West Region Tournament.
Yeah, we're hoping to talk to you maybe a little bit later in the afternoon, but we'll take it for what it is, and we're ready to go here in the second game of the day.
Let's talk about the tournament overall, just as a whole. Your thoughts on it. Obviously, the top seeds in this tournament have showed why they're the top seeds coming in. No real big shockers here this week at the West Region tournament, but your thoughts overall on some of the parity in the other games if you take away those top two teams that have shown their dominance?
I think that's exactly it. 1 and 2 seeds were clearly the 1 and 2 seeds, and then 3, 4, 5 were, we battled down to the last, obviously last game of the year to see who would be 3, 4, 5. So it's kind of shaking out exactly like that. The only really upset, I think, Dickinson over Jamestown, and I don't know if that was an upset, it was a double overtime game. So we draw Jamestown today. It's a team we've seen twice this year, and, I guess we're happy with where we're at and the matchup we have.
Let's go back to last night real quick and talk about the matchup with the Bismarck Century team that, in my mind, tell me if you disagree with this, but is that the best defensive core you've seen in a West Region team in a while? Man, those guys back there with Sleddy and Bailey and Hansen, I talked about them all night last night, but those guys just seem like next-level guys to me and really caused some trouble for you guys with breaking into their zone, and they just do a nice job keeping everybody to the outside. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it is for sure. They got kids that, up and down the defensive end have been all-state, all-region here for a number of years. Luckily, most of them are seniors, and they'll be gone at the end of this year. But I thought we did a pretty good job, generating chances. We had, I think, at the end of the game, stat-wise, like 10 quality chances. I'm talking quality. We're talking, very quality in terms of backdoor tap-ins, in front of the net in the slot, all by themselves. So, it'd have been nice for us to put a few more in the net last night, but I think we, we at least made it a hockey game. And defensively on our end, we held them to, under 30 shots. And if you look up and down the stats throughout the year, I don't know if they've been held under 30 shots other than Grand Forks Central. So we're happy with that defensively. We're happy with the way we rebounded. It was a horrible start. Couldn't ask for a worse start. And, the kids could easily packed it in. It could have been a 10-1 game like we maybe saw in that Bismarck High-Dickinson game. But they battled that internal fortitude we talked to them about, and hopefully that carries over into tonight.
I was going to ask you about that with giving up a goal 12 seconds in, and then they scored on their very next shot. They were down 2-0 before anybody could say Charlie Brown, and all of a sudden the Magicians came rumbling back in that game. You take away those first 2 goals and you've got a 2-1 hockey game on your hands. Really says a lot about the core that you have of those younger players that make up the most of this team, and that senior leadership that you have as well. I was certainly impressed with that last night. Can you touch on that just a little bit more?
I thought we played a lot better than we played on Thursday night. We didn't have much energy Thursday night, and, we had kids. I thought everybody played a pretty good hockey game, with the exception of probably the first 8 minutes. That's kind of been a bit of our MO lately. In games we've given up goals on the first shot, second shot here a number of times, alarmingly this year. And that's something we got to fix, here tonight and moving forward. Whether it's next year, the year after that, maybe it's preparation, maybe it's a number of different things factor into it. We're not ready to play, and that's something we really gotta look at.
On to business today. It's a matchup with the Jamestown Blue Jays, the third matchup of the year. You guys split in the regular season, heavily outshot Jamestown both times that you've played them, but this is a hockey team that's got some guys that can certainly move the puck. They've got a kid by the name of Jace Thompson that can score the puck as well. 38 points for him on the year, 30 for Tommy Falk, and they've got a great goaltender back there in Riley Gerhardt. Do you have any concerns heading into today's game after the hard-fought tilt last night with a Century team that gas and energy might be an issue, but then again, we're talking about 18 and younger kids that should have plenty of gas in the tank, hey? Yeah,
we go back. We got a lot of young kids who are excited about the opportunity. I feel more confident this year. We finished last night. We outshoot Century in the last 2 periods, I think, 13-12. We ended the game playing well. We didn't give up. I think last year in the same position, we got outshot by Bismarck High 18-0 in the third period. So that was a huge letdown coming into the state qualifying game. So I think we're a good go. That Thompson kid is good. He's a big kid. He's strong. He's not real flashy, but man, he seems to find the net. I think he's got 4 or 5 goals in this tournament already. And he's a kid we're going to have to take a look at. They're very opportunistic. They were down there. They had a couple odd man rushes. They scored on him. I think we put about 50 shots on net down there. We're a different team now. We weren't scoring goals then. We didn't have confidence then. We maybe weren't getting to the net. We made it easy for their goalie, and that's changed. We've been putting pucks on the net, with the exception of last night. So that's our goal. Our goal is to get, they've given up the most shots of any team in the state, I think, this year. They're averaging about 48 shots against, and in this tournament, it hasn't changed. I think it's 60, and I don't know what it was yesterday. It was pretty high too. I think Botno had 35, 40 shots. So we're hoping to maybe throw 50 shots on net, and if you do that, even a goal at 90%, you're gonna hopefully get 5. And I think if we can get to that number, we should be in really good shape.
You're a player that you're a coach that was a player that came through the Minot High program. You bleed maroon and gold, and obviously have ties dating all the way back to when you were born into the program. For you, when you look at Magicians hockey, not only from the coaching standpoint of this, how important, but on a personal level for you, how important is this to get Minot High back to the state high school hockey tournament for their 36th time and continue to hold the record in the West for the most visits with Bismarck High? How important really is it that you guys win today's game and get back on the map in North Dakota as one of the top 8?
You know, it's important for our seniors who didn't qualify last year, and I think it's even more important moving forward for those sophomores and juniors for next year. Just having that confidence, being able to play in a state tournament. And, you know, I was thinking about that. You know, we didn't qualify last year. It's unfortunate. It hasn't happened very often in the last, 25 years. And as far as I can remember, it hasn't happened 2 years in a row for about ever. So we don't plan on letting that happen today, and I think the kids understand what's at stake today. So I expect a really good effort.
Sure appreciate your time. Best of luck today, and we'll hopefully see you in Fargo next week at the State High School Hockey Tournament.
Hopefully next Thursday we'll be talking again.
That's Jason Bennett, co-head coach of the Magi. When we come back to the Planet Pizza pregame show, Noah and I will break down the numbers. It's a play-in game. You must win to move on. Loser, season is done. This is Minot High Magicians Hockey.
Supper time's a crunch. T-minus now, it's time for Planet Pizza. With lots of space for fun, there's room for everyone. Don't be an alien to Planet Pizza. Space for fun. Planet Pizza. Planet Pizza.
Let's go to the ice with the voice of the Magi. Here's Nick Hulberg.
Well, the booming voice from Danny Sim and the official introductions inside of the Pepsi rink here at Mesa Arena. As the nice crowd continues to file in to the Pepsi rink for the final game, where we'll see one team go home early. The other team will be the number 3 seed out of the West region. Nick Hulberg alongside of Noah Grant. That puts a cap on the Planet Pizza pregame show today. Let's get you set up on the radio dial and on ProStyleProduction.com for this one. Minot High will travel from the right to the left for the first and the third. Minot High's the home team, the 3 seed. They've got their white uniforms on with the square M across the chest. They're trimmed out in maroon and gold. They've got the Vegas gold trim. Minot High in the maroon helmets, pants, and gloves. They've got the old school jerseys with the tie right at the neck and the maroon string. The Jamestown Blue Jays are in their traditional blue. Blue helmets, pants, and gloves. They'll travel from the left to the right for the first and the third. Riley Gerhardt. Some good numbers. Sits on the left side of the blue paint on the radio dial. It's the Magicians' Trace Sortland. And the blue paint to our right. We are underway with the opening draw. And the puck possession at center ice for the Magi as Mason Deal darts it down to the corner. Plemmel on the attack. He takes it from behind the net. And here's Plemmel, turns it on. Gerhardt makes his first stop of the hockey game just 25 seconds in. Deals back underneath the net, works it away to the far side wall, looking for the outlet taken away here. The Blue Jays will carry up to center ice. Thompson had it there. Taken away by Thogfett, and it's dumped right back in by the Magi. Stenberg's on the retrieve, back in behind the net. Morelli has it down low, centering feed to Murphy. Oh, the one-timer, he fanned it. 40 seconds into the hockey game. It's Nick Murphy down to the corner, left side of the radio dial. Back up to the point. Big Ben bone break, sends it in, loose in front of the net. Morelli slung it towards the cage. It went wide, and now Fillion's on the retrieve down low. And the first power play of the night will go to the Magicians early on in this one. By the way, it's Dennis Bonneau, Jake Stack, Clark Digman, and Dwight Mack. Clark Digman, and Dwight Mack that's got the call, the tripping. And that will go to 16 for the Blue Jays. Gavin Hott power play comes out for the Magi.
Yeah, and deservedly so. The Magi definitely have controlled the pace here, and they're hungry.
Minot High's got Morelli on the left wing. Right wing. The Magicians have Field. Fillion's the centerman, and back is Riley Oproot. He's back there along with Nick Murphy. One-man aggressive, trying to kill it off for the Blue Jays, and that's Corey Nelson. Up at center ice, the Magicians are into the offensive zone with Fillion on the near wing. Peyton Fillion really having a breakout year here in his junior campaign. Puck goes back behind the net now and away to the far side wall. We're underneath the goal line. Fields back over there. It's chipped down from Nick Murphy off to Aiden Morelli. Leads the team in goals. Does Morelli. He's having a good year as well. 14 of those here in his sophomore campaign. Minute 19 remains on the Magi power play. The first specialty teams activity of the hockey game. Morelli gloved the clear attempt at the blue line, but he has to work it back into his own D territory after Riley Opperud. Then back to Morelli on the near wing. Up it went off of Field. Now it's taken there by the Blue Jays, and they launch it all the way down. This one from Tommy Falk, and out of the net to play it is Sortland. Trey Sortland slings this one around the near side boards out to center ice where it came up to Mason Deal. Then it went off of Hillman. Deal was hit. The puck is free to Stenberg, and the Magi have to regroup back in their own territory as Deal will soccer this one forward off the attempt in the dump in there from the Magi D-Corps. 14:35 to play in the opening frame. It's a scoreless hockey game as Sortland has to play it to the right of his own blue paint, and then he saucers this one out to center ice where he connected with Deal. Nothing doing here for the Magi power play. They're having a hard time setting it up. Now they're in the offensive zone. Deal from Stenberg takes it underneath the goal line. Looks for the outlet. Sends it in front. Stenberg backhand drive. Gerhardt stoned him. Comes back at the bottom of the circle. Back to Stenberg. Make it Deal now. And it's going to be taken on the far wall by the Blue Jays. And they will clear it out with the help there of Alex Stocker. Back in is Bonebreak. 4 seconds on the power play. From one end of the ice to the other. He's back underneath the goal. Worked it back out to now the Blue Jays just sent this one all the way down the length of the ice. Will we have it icing? We will. Scoreless with 13:51 to play in the first.
Yeah, pretty cut and dry penalty kill for Jamestown. I mean, I think Minot almost controlled the puck better possession-wise when they were 5-on-5 so far in this game. But, you know, a little bit too cute. Just wasn't able to settle the puck down, and hopefully they can relax and be able to continue to force the pressure because they've been in Jamestown's zone for most of the game so far.
Back at the point, Hertz handles, the shot comes in. Third save of the game for Gerhardt. He wears number 40. He's a big boy, 6'3", 200-pounder for the Jamestown net keeper. He's got the white goal mask on today with white and baby blue pads on today. Sortland at the other end of the ice, he's got white goal pads with maroon trim, the white mask, and he's got his first stop of the game, a can of corn dump, and then he covered and froze. Face-off coming to his right side.
Yeah, shows the confidence in Sortland, you know, only being a sophomore, being able to step up in this big game situation.
A lot of talk about the goaltending choice last night, going with Odie Nelson over Trey Sortland in the situation of the semifinals. Interesting conversation to have there. Odie Nelson, he was all right after he gave up the first 2 shots of the game. That second one, in my opinion, was one that he needed to have without a doubt. You can't give up those easy ones, especially in a game like that. Minot High was in a hole 2-0 early on, but Odie responded nice last night and made quite a few stops. 30 total shots came his way, made 26 saves. Dumped in on Sortland. He'll gobble that one up and hang on to it. Face-off comes on the sophomore net keeper's glove side.
Yeah, Trey Sortland, you know, almost a 90% save percentage, and you know, he's played well this year, especially with this sophomore group. You know, they're going to be an extreme factor, you know, for this game if Minot looks to punch their ticket to the state tournament.
Face off of the glove side of Trey Sortland. Down to the goaltender stance and ready, but he doesn't need to be as the Magi take it out to center with Field, and Field dances in, fires it towards the net. That one went off of Hillman and then behind the cage of Gerhardt. Taken away here by the Blue Jays. They have control of the puck with Brady Sortland, and Sortland moves it out to center, comes back here to Riley Opperud, and Opperud sends it back in behind the Blue Jay net where they pick it up here with Jorison. Jorison back up and to center ice. The Blue Jays skated ahead forward into the offensive zone now as Mike Mahoney sends it back in behind the net. Bonebreak took it there, worked it up to the point, held it at the line and sent right back in by Jorison. He's got 2 points on the year, 1 goal and 1 assist for the big blue liner for the Blue Jays. Comes back to Ben Bonebreak. He's going to take it with a backhand, and Bonebreak moves that one up to center ice, but right back in with it. The Blue Jays dump it down. They go for a wholesale change. Creates plenty of space for the Magi here with 5 minutes complete in the opening frame. Still scoreless. Shots are 4-1 Minot High as Derwin Hauser knocks it out of the air with good hand-eye coordination. Sends it over to Deal, and then Deal just sends in a whistler that was gobbled and held by Gerhardt when he went into the butterfly to make the save.
Yeah, I think the Magi are the quicker team so far. You know, Jamestown's a little bit bigger, and they're content with this pace being a little bit slower. They're able to clog up the middle and not let the Magicians use their speed game to the advantage.
Face off on the blocker's side of Gerhardt. Comes back to Hunter Cope. He scored his first goal of the year last night. That was a big one. That put some electricity into this place during the semifinals. Minot High was down 3-0 at that point. A drive, top shelf. Guess who? Stenberg goes to the cookie jar. His 7th of the year. And the Magi are on the board first. A big one from Kyler Stenberg. And the captain of the Magi has them rolling early.
Yeah, we talked about how young this group is, and the leadership definitely showed up to play. Really nice move coming down off the Nodak sign, rolling out from below the goal line, and just, you know, that's a goal scorer's goal, picking the short side corner, and an early 1-0 lead for the Magicians.
6th shot of the game. 1 goal against. Let's listen to Dan Seb.
Assisted on the play by 24, Mason Deal. That's 22 from 24. Even strength, 5:26 in the first.
Minot High's right back in with it on Deal. Forehand, he had it on the near side wall, but it was taken away, and back up to center ice come the Blue Jays and into Magi territory. Here's the Blue Jays stud. That's one of them. That's Corey Nelson. He sent it in. The other one is number 12, Jace Thompson, 38 points on the year in his sophomore campaign. He's got an older brother by the name of Gage who's playing in the North American NA3HL and having a great season out in Montana. Here's a drive that comes in, and the glove save is made. Trey Sortland hangs on tight to it.
Yeah, you know, the Magicians, they're starting to find their mojo again. I think they've gotten better all weekend, you know, had a really slow start to the tournament, and now they're playing their best hockey of the tournament. Their transition game is really nice. They've had good zone entries, and they're taking it to Jamestown right now.
Face off on Sortland's blocker side around the end wall. Got past Morelli, and it came up to the line. Tipped in front. Sortland was screened to the play, and he made his second stop of the afternoon with the right pad on a down low shot that had traffic in front and then was tipped. Qdoba's in the hospitality room, by the way, today. They got a taco bar in there. How about that business?
Oh, it was pretty tasty. I was able to grab myself a bite before we came up to the press box. It was really good.
Yeah, that's why Larry McFall's not up here. He's sitting over there in the hospitality room. Actually, Larry, ice operations manager, he's doing his real job here this afternoon. Operative from the line, sends it in, tipped in front. Oh, it was redeflected in front of the net, redirected wide of Gerhardt. Went through the blue paint, and now the Magi have to regroup at center and dump it back in. Just under 10 minutes to play in the first. Minot High's up 1-0 on Kyler Stenberg's goal. Stenberg's 7th goal of the year, point number 11. Man, was he snake-bitten before the tournament. He's got 2 here in the WDA tournament. Nice to see the senior coming alive at the end of the year. Puck will come back to the near sideline. It's Opru that handles. He'll shuffle this one down behind the net where Aiden Morelli handles. Morelli, side of the cage, working on it, trying to feed it out in front. Hurts at the blue line, couldn't hold it, but he corrals the puck and brings it back to center where Tice escapes a check there. Nice play from Tice as Alex Stockert was on top of him. Tice off to Hauser. Hauser's in, he fires it up, and the blocker's save was made. Back in behind the net, it's Field that handles here. Field being hounded, the sophomore, back to Tice at the line. Sends it in, waffle board stop and push to the corner from Gerhardt, who just saw his 8th shot of the hockey game. Blue Jays have had enough of that, and they'll ice it all the way down with 9:01 to play in the first. Minot High up 1-0.
Yeah, the possession game for the Magicians has looked really strong so far. You know, the puck was like a live hand grenade for them last night against Century, maybe gripping the sticks too tight. But they've had some good zone time, and, you know, especially in high school hockey, we see so many players not able to settle down the play and be patient with it, and Minot's doing a really nice job of that so far.
Gerhardt's blocker side. By the way, Gerhardt didn't see a whole lot of action last year because of the name Matt Schmidt. And if you remember him, Gerhardt's got the save here as it was poked towards the goal by Mason Deal. If you remember last year, Matt Schmidt was the goaltender that played for the Blue Jays. Has a similar style to Gerhardt, similar build, similar frame. And Matt Schmidt last year, Matt Schneider is the name. I keep calling him Matt Schmidt, the goaltender of Bismarck Century. It was Matt Schneider last year that was named the West Region Senior Athlete of the Year with some sensational numbers, and a kid that was at Jamestown for 3 years. Not often do you get the Senior Athlete of the Year to be a goaltender, and he was certainly well deserving of that. He saw plenty of rubber for Matt Stockert's Jamestown Blue Jays, and he was one of the best in the West for multiple years. But that brings Gerhardt in now, and Gerhardt here in his junior campaign has really filled that void nicely. He's been a dominating force back there for the Blue Jays. You mentioned in the pregame show, oh my goodness, look at the hit there. Arms come up. It's going to be a charging coming up on Stenberg when the Magi can touch up. Not before the Blue Jays score a centering feed, and Thompson puts it to the back of the net on the delayed call. Oh my goodness, Thompson's got his 39th point of the year, and it's a 1-1 hockey game.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of chaos. You know, this game had been pretty cut and dry so far, but you know, you have a big hit that draws a penalty, and a Jamestown team that's able to capitalize on the delayed call. And you know, for this young group, for the Magicians, you know, a lot of things happening very quickly here. So for them to settle down, kind of regroup and get back to their game, you know, that's important. You know, you're not on the penalty kill, and now it's time to go to work and try to push the play back on Jamestown like they've been doing so far.
Magi pushed it down. Gerhardt held on to it. Let's listen in.
That's 12 from 5. Even strength goal, 8:46 of the first.
Well, the blow for blow early on here in the first period. Tommy Falk picks up point number 31. That's an assist for him on Thompson's 19th goal of the year. Point number 39. Magi are back in. Here's a drive. Trying to pick the top shelf was Nick Murphy. He was interrupted on the play by the blocker. Nice save there from Gerhardt. Out comes Fillion. Sends it across the save. Murphy was denied by Gerhardt again. And the puck is taken here by the Magi and Fillion. It comes back out to center ice, pushed ahead there by the Blue Jays, and it's Cooper Allen on the forecheck, but it's Fillion back in with the help of the pass there, Ben Bonebrake. Down to the near side corner into Gretzky's office with it with Fillion. He had his pocket picked, but it's held at the line by Bonebrake. Now it's loose in front of the Jamestown net. Puck is taken away here, and Gavin Hout takes it. And the Blue Jays are fine with this. They send it the full 200 and icing with 7:18 to play here in the first period. It's a 1-1 score at the Pepsi Ring. If you're buying or selling a home, let 701 Realty's Andrew Goodmanson make your experience a positive one. Give 701 Realty's Andrew Goodmanson a call at 701-240-1965. Truly is the best in the business. We appreciate Andrew McKenna from 701 Realty. Puck handled here by the Magicians at their own blue line. Hunter Culp will be charged with a hand pass with 7:08 to play in the first, still 1-1.
Yeah, the Magicians' cycle game has looked really nice so far. You know, didn't have a lot of that last night against Bismarck Century, but you know, it creates tired legs for Jamestown. You know, if you're in your own zone the entire night trying to chase pucks, you know, it bodes well for the Magicians to have that much zone time this early in the game.
Faceoff comes all the way back down to the glove side of Trey Sortland. He's seen 4 tonight. He stopped 3 of them. Thompson's 39th point of the year. Stenberg had the other goal, the first of the night for the Magi. It's 1-1. Back up to center ice. Fancy move coming into the zone for the Blue Jays. Brady Sortland takes it down, but Gabe Thongfett was in the way there. On the near side wall, Hillman, who's one of our stars of the game on Thursday night in the win for the Magicians over Mandan. Boy, he's a hard-working kid, a grinder. Wouldn't call him a playmaker. He's more like a Ty Domi enforcer kind of a guy down there. Not afraid to mix it up just a little bit. You got to love those guys like that have a little bit of an edge. Magi have real estate as Hillman got it off here onto the tape for Hunter Culp. Over center ice, dumped in from center. And on the retrieve for the Blue Jays, back behind their own net, Gavin Hout again. 6:10 to play here in the first. It's 1-1. 19 trips to the state high school hockey tournament for the Blue Jays. They want more. And in with it comes Nelson. Nice play from Riley Oprud. He put the stick in the way of that one of the sophomore defenseman that's got 8 points on the year. Makes a nice play on the defensive end of the ice. And now he walks to the other end. Fires one wide on the blocker's side. Comes back up to Deal. Puck is loose. Top of the circle. Deal bats at it. It's going to come back away here to Thompson. Thompson was picked off there by Bonebrake. Then Bonebrake let Thompson know he's there. Gave him a hit against the near side wall, but the Blue Jays have control again over the center ice checkered stripe. Into the offensive zone. Here's a drive that came up and went wide. Off the tape from Tommy Falk. It went wide of the cage, and it's Thompson back underneath the net. Make that Nelson again as the top line is out for Jamestown. They control. Not for long. An errant pass there. It's taken by Oprud. He tries to clear it. They can't. Falk drops it back down to the corner. 5:15 to play in the first. 1-1 hockey game. 12-4. The shots on goal. Minot High has the advantage there, but we're deadlocked with one aside. Bonebreak fires it around the boards, trying to clear it on the wrap, but now it's all of a sudden a 3-on-2 for the Magi. Back in with it. Deal the left-handed shot, turns it towards the net. Nice play defensively, getting a stick of that one was Rainey. Goes back away up to center ice, and Gabe Thongfet's there inside the red line, and he'll take it and dump it right back in. The Magicians' forward unit gets a change, with the exception of Plemmel, as the top line is back out. Philly trying to let that one go back up to Thongfet, and it's taken here by Jamestown, and Cummings will dump it back into Minot High territory. 4.5 to play in the first period. 35 trips to the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament for the Magicians. They didn't go last year. They were the number 3 seed. They were shocked by Dickinson in this very game, at this very time, in this very venue. 6-1, Dickinson beat them after the Magi put 10 on them a few weeks prior. Here's a drive that went up and over the net on the attempt from Nick Murphy. Stop of the play, 4:11 to play in the first 1-1. And Minot High has just been a staple at that state high school hockey tournament. It's almost absurd to think that there's a chance that they won't get back here for another year.
Yeah, got a lot of turnover, though, with a bunch of young guys, and I've really been impressed with the detour for the Magicians so far. Their zone exits have been clean. They've corralled pucks well, and, you know, when the Magicians have been in their own zone, they haven't been there for very long, and that, you know, that bodes well.
Puck's back in Minot High territory, off to Nick Murphy. He's going to deliver to Morelli, and here comes Aiden Morelli. Puts a hard shot towards the net, hit traffic there of Joe Cummings, and back underneath for Philly, and he sent it towards the cage, but wide. 3:45 to play in the first period. Murphy's got it back in the dot, tried to fire it towards the net, comes back up top root at the line, now to his partner Bonebreak. Rooster comes in. Gerhardt pretty solid fundamentally. He goes down into the butterfly, corrals it, and hangs tight, still 1-1.
Yeah, he uses that big frame to his advantage, you know, moves laterally really well. Shots 13-4, but if you're Jamestown, I mean, you're satisfied. It's a 1-1 hockey game, trying to go to the state tournament. And, you know, they're hanging in there, and their goaltender's been strong.
Off the draw, the puck is going to be won back here to field. Now it goes away to Hillman. Hillman had his pocket picked, and Tommy Falk is going to bring it back in. Blue Jays are going to be offsides. They're going to have to touch up. Free some space for the Magi out of their own end. It comes back away to Hauser on the near wing. Hauser thrown to the ice with the hit there from Jace Thompson, the sophomore. Thompson's got 39 points now on the year. He's a player that isn't the traditional guy that you would think of being the leading scorer on a hockey team. He's kind of built like a brick house. He's not the smoothest skater, but man, he's just one of those kids that can finish on plays and make them happen. He's a natural goal scorer and a guy that certainly has some size to him. He's going to be around for the next 2 years at Jamestown and look out West Region hockey.
Yeah, he's kind of a guy that definitely reminds me kind of like an Andrzej Kopitar kind of build.
He sends it across the slot, trying to send it over to Falk. It's taken away by the Magi, and up to center they go with Hillman. He's being worked on heavily there by Falk's stick. Sends it across, trying to send it over to field. Comes back down low underneath the goal line. Now a centering feed from Hauser. No one home for the Magi, and it's taken here by Corey Nelson, and Nelson's going to walk over center and send it in. Then he was railed by Hillman. Look out, Hillman at the Minot High blue line on top of Nelson. Hillman's going to go off for a change as those two collided heavily. Up off the glass, the senior Hertz put it into the offensive zone, but it's Plemmel at center that has to regroup right over the Pepsi logo. 2-minute warning coming up. We're just about 15 minutes into this one. It's 1-1, Minot High and Jamestown. No real surprise here. These two teams played to 1-goal differentials twice this year. Icing on the Magi, they'll bring it back into Minot High territory. And Noah, when you look at their first matchup, it was here at the Pepsi rink. Minot High out shooting Jamestown 43-19. You mentioned it in the pregame show. The Magicians won 3-2. Then they went to Jamestown. They ended up playing a contest where Minot High outshot them heavily again, 49-21. But Minot High lost that contest 2-1, and that wasn't that long ago, back in January. So we could be in store for a nail-biter as this one progresses with 1:40 left here in the first period. It's still a 1-1 tilt. And up and down the ice we go as it's taken here by the Blue Jays. They clear out to center. Back is Bonebreak to retrieve, and it comes up onto the tape for Stenberg, the game's goal scorer for the Magi. Stenberg from center whistles it in. Look out, that one hurt. Out, got hit right where you don't want to. He's got the protective gear down low. Here's a drive. Stenberg wraps it around, and he puts it through the wickets. He's got his second of the game, and the Magi lead 2-1.
Yeah, really nice play. Kind of one of those sneaky plays if you're a goal scorer. Caught the goaltender sleeping a little bit, came off his post just a tad, and a really nice wraparound play. And that's a really heads-up play by the leader for this Magicians team, who essentially has kind of taken the game on his shoulders and given Minot a 2-1 lead.
We'll have to listen in to see if there's an additional assist. There will be. It will be Stenberg from Deal and Plemmel. Morelli's back in with it. Now Fillion hit the bar on the attempt. Puck will be whistled out. This will be an icing. We'll listen in.
Skater number 12, Jack Plemmel. That's 22 from 24 from 12. Even strength by 15:41 of the first.
Well, Kyler Stenberg, it was a focus of mine heading into the tournament. I talked to John Grum about him on what do you do with a player like that to finish last year with 22 points, 11 goals, 11 assists. He was up there in scoring for the Magicians, second to be exact. Here comes the 1-minute call, by the way, from Dan Seb.
1 minute to play, first period, 1 minute.
Thank you. Fillion from behind the net, offensive zone, trying to find the outlet. He's going to walk top of the circle, sends it in front, comes back away. Nick Murphy turns it out forehand, drive, save, rebound. Morelli knocking on the doorstep. He's not able to convert to the Blue Jays, try to clear. Hertz will hold it. Now it's taken here, fired out to center. Thompson, the one-man aggressive for the Blue Jays, but it comes back to Murphy, and they're going to turn it back into the offensive zone where Fillion moved it back ahead, and now Fillion goes down to the corner. Offensive zone blocker side. Fillion stick broke on the play as he tried to send it to the wide open streaking Hayden Morelli. 20 seconds to play here in the period. Minot High in Jamestown. In a West Region nail-biter, the Magicians have the 2-1 lead. Icing is waved off. Comes back to Thongfed. He'll fire it up and all the way down. It goes 200 feet, but back on the retrieve for the Blue Jays is Rainey. Goes back away to the near wing in the offensive territory for the Magi. Now it sits where it's fired up, and Jorison cleared it out at the end of the period. Noah Grant will be ice level with Jordan Willard in just a moment. Point about Stenberg, when you get a guy like that had 22 points last year and all of a sudden comes into the tournament where he's been absolutely snake-bitten in his last 10 games. Stenberg entered the tournament with 9 points. He gets her going just a bit here. He actually entered the tournament with 8 points. He had 2 on Thursday night, held off the score sheet last night. And now he's got the first 2 goals of the night for the Magi to have them up 2-1 at the end of one. Shots are 15-4 in favor of the Magi. Noah Grant will be ice level in just a moment. He walked down to the bench to talk to Jordan Willard, the assistant coach of the Magicians. Will have their thoughts now after period number 1 comes to a close.
Coach, you've got a goaltender on the other side of the ice in Riley Gerhardt that has some really good numbers, and he's been tough to beat. What's the strategy against him?
Yeah, like I said last night, we got to get everything there. We got to get pucks, bodies, the kitchen sink, anything you can, you got to get there. I think we had some chances there, but we're taking too long to get pucks off. The kid moves so well laterally. If you get it in the slot, it's got to be a turnaround shot, and you got to try to get it high because he likes to go down. It's kind of that new style of goaltending. But, again, for stretches that period, I thought we were good. One little lapse down here defensively, kind of got throwing pucks around. And, that first line of theirs, those guys, they all have over 30 points. They're a good line. They're going to capitalize.
Speaking of scoring, you've got a guy, in Stenberg, has a late goal, has 2 goals already in this game. What can you say about his leadership tonight?
Hey, to get to state, you need your seniors and juniors to step up, your upperclassmen, and obviously Kyler's on a mission tonight. We talked yesterday, I want to go to Fargo with this group of kids. It's a good group of kids, and, Kyler's kind of putting the team on his shoulders there a little bit. Hopefully everybody else follows. We got 2 periods of hockey left here, and we got to keep going.
Certainly have a chance for the state tournament right now, up 2-1. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
That's Jordan Willard, the assistant coach of the Magi, with our Noah Grant ice level. You hear his thoughts at the end of one period. 2-1 at the end of one. Minot High leads this one. Let's go to our first International Bank and Trust intermission report. With all the stats and analysis from the period, we'll look out east and see how the EDC tournament's shaping up. Minot High leads 2-1 at the end of 17 minutes. This is Minot High Magicians Hockey.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestead from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork in their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank. It's time for the First International Bank and Trust Intermission Report. First International has you covered. Let's go back to the press box for the stats, analysis, and everything else Magi hockey.
Kyler Stenberg comes to line for the Magicians, picking up 2 goals in this one of the first period. Goals 7 and 8, points 11 and 12 for the senior captain for the Magi. He's got Minot High in the driver's seat in this one. It's a 2-1 hockey game at the end of 1 period play. This is our First International Bank and Trust intermission report. First International Bank and Trust is a proud member of the Minot community. We stay true to our values by encouraging our staff to spend more time with family. By doing so, we spend more moments living in the moment. Member FDIC, live first. Nick Hulberg here. Noah Grant will rejoin us in just a moment. But first, a special guest in the press box, Mr. Brent Borkus joins us now. And Brent, first of all, thanks for some time here tonight. Great to see you. It's always fun when you get to tournament time. There's something special about the hockey world, isn't there, where you get to these tournaments, you get to the state tournament, and you see some familiar faces that you don't always get a chance to see throughout the year. And here we are again tonight, and it's always great to see you. How have you been? How are you doing?
I've been doing pretty good. I was able to sneak some vacation time to come up here and watch some hockey this weekend. But you're right, Nick. There's something about once you get to the tournament time, watching the Bismarck-Dickinson game, the tension that gets ratcheted up. I've watched those 2 teams play twice earlier this year, and every time that Bismarck and Dickey has gotten together, it's I was glad I was wearing my Beck Sports stuff so nobody could tell who I was running camera for at that game, because it was hot. And it's no different here today that you see the tension start to boil. We saw it again last night with 2 good foes between Minot and Century. And there's so much more that's on the line. But something I kept thinking about last night when it comes to this tournament time is how important harnessing that energy but keeping it in control We started to see some guys taking some shots in the 2 games last night, and the coach's perspective I had in my mind popped up that said, hey, boys, we got a game tomorrow that we need. Now, the semifinal, huge game, but you both need to win that next game, whether it's Minot here needing to win to get in, or whether it's a Century or a Bismarck needing to win to get, let's be honest, get on the opposite side of Central's bracket. I mean, that's really what tonight's game comes to, and then you look at today's game, get in. So if you had lost guys to old rivalry jabbing last night, you really need them today. So I'm glad that that Comer heads prevailed, I suppose.
Well, it's going to be fun, that championship game this afternoon. You're a Bismarck resident these days. You follow Bismarck High hockey, you follow Century hockey, your time at Beck Sports, and of course your current position there. You get to see a lot of hockey across the state, but your view on the Century Bismarck High matchup today. You've got 2 hockey teams that are going to go toe-to-toe with each other here this afternoon, and it's 2 hockey teams that are certainly good. Number 1 against number 2 in the West. They played twice this year. Both games went to overtime. One of them went to a shootout. They each have a win on the season. They're 2 different makeups of hockey teams that feature some very good hockey players on both sides. What do you expect out of the title game today that comes up after this one comes to a close that probably will be worth the price of admission, you'd almost have to think, and then some?
I've had a unique opportunity to follow both those teams. That's actually a little side project that I do. I got 3 little kids at home. I'm trying to help raise and pay some bills for them, so I get to do some extra projects outside of already televising hockey with Beck Sports. But I got to go to both the Century Bismarck games this season. And one of the things I took away from both those contests was there's an intensity level, and there's a lot of point-blank chances. It's probably one of the most cardiac games you'll ever see with very few goals. The first game between Bismarck and Century ended up going scoreless to overtime, and people will be like, oh, there's no goals? That's kind of boring. There were 32 shots for Bismarck and I think 34 for Century at the end of regulation. Anything but boring. I mean, and then you add a full house of high schoolers that scream every time the puck changes the direction of ice it's going, let alone a shot off the post or a scramble. The tension goes up. I usually have a feel one direction or the other, but no one's had a play on these teams all year long. I mean, you look at the stick handling and the blue line skills of Century, and you're like, boy, they're a really solid team when it comes to protecting their net. And then you see Bismarck play out of their mind when they end up matching up in those games as well. So I really, I'm excited. I'm glad that I get to cheer for both.
Should be a fun one today. Thanks for your time, Mr. Borkus. We'll see you here for the rest of this one.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, bud.
You betcha. That's Brent Borkus, longtime friend of mine, former broadcast partner when I was with the Bismarck Bobcats back in the early 2000s. Great human being, great guy, great hockey mind as well. 2-1 at the end of one period play to this one here tonight. We'll come back with the recap in just a moment. This is Minot High Magicians Hockey.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, My name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork in their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank. This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestead from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork in their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Time for our second period of this state high school hockey tournament play-in game. It's the West Region matchup to see who the number 3 seed is here out of the West Region. Jamestown, Minot High up 2-1 at the end of one. Stenberg's got both the goals for the Magi, and we're underway for the second with Minot High traveling from the left to the right for the middle frame, right to the left for the Blue Jays from Jamestown. As the puck comes back into Magi territory here with Thogfett, who delivers it back over to Hertz, his D partner, and Hertz is going to flip this one high up into the air and then delivered into Minot High's offensive territory. Right back out with it come the Blue Jays, however. Now it's going to be scrubbed for at center ice where it's taken away here by the Blue Jays, and they cross into Magi territory again. Up and ahead, but it's the Magi and Thogfett that have control on the near side wing. Up into the offensive zone. Stenberg bidding for the hat trick. He'll turn it towards the net, and Gerhardt will hang tight to it 58 seconds into the second.
Yeah, the Magicians are doing a good job not allowing the Blue Jays to enter the zone cleanly. You know, it's hard ice. It's it's not, you know, any free passes coming into the zone, and that allows Minot to turn back the other way with quick transition and start their rush.
Off the draw, it's Nick Murphy, top of the circle. Puck comes back away, and the Blue Jays are going to handle. They're going to carry it back into Magi territory. That one launched in over the head from Jorison. It goes back in behind Trey Sortland, and the Magi try to move it out to center to Nick Murphy. They did, but it got away from him. A good smell of burnt popcorn up here in the press box to start the second period. It's taken by Bonebreak. He'll fire in. Gerhardt makes the stop, and he'll hang on to it. 15:35 to play here in the second period. We didn't get a chance to give you the official stats from period number one. Here they are. Minot High had the first goal of the game from Stenberg, assisted by Deal. Then on the other side, it was Thompson netting his 19th of the year. The assist went to Falk. The Magicians scored again with 1:19 left in the opening period. It was Stenberg picking up his second of the game, goal number 8 on the season. He was assisted by Deal and Morelli. Shots of the period, Minot High out shooting Jamestown 15-4. Gerhardt made 13 stops, and Sortland made 3. We didn't get the official sheet for the official quality chances, but it was 2-1 at the end of one is what really matters. Operate from the line, sends it in. Murphy tried to tip it as it went to the top shelf, but sailed just wide of the cage. It's picked up here by the Blue Jays, and they're going to send this one all the way down, back to the left of Trey Sortland. Icing on Jamestown.
Yeah, the Magicians have spent a lot of zone time within Jamestown's end, and, you know, that's, as far as hockey is concerned, the Blue Jays goaltender is going to have to stand on his head, because Minot has been all over the Blue Jays in terms of zone time and possession.
Off the draw on the blockers side of Gerhardt. It's taken here by the Blue Jays, but it's Hillman that intercepts on the half wall on the far boards. Picked up now by Jace Thompson, and Thompson trying to clear the zone. Brought it right in front of his own goaltender. Hit the shin pads of Field. Thompson powers his way out to center. He moves it into Minot High's defensive territory. Sortland's out of the net to play it, where it went away to the far wall, where Tommy Falk handles again. The captain of the Blue Jays fires it to the side of the net. That one hit the pipe. Might have been the outside of the pipe, but either way, the goalpost was hit. It comes all the way back to the near point for Connor Rainey. Rainey whistles it around the end wall. Goes away back to Field. He tries to clear it out. Can't. Thompson holds it. Drop down. A drive coming. Nice defensive job from Hillman. He got in the way of that one, but it's held in by Falk for the Blue Jays. And the top line for Jamestown continues to pressure here on the Magi, but now it's Hauser that moves it out to center ice, and Fields back in with it. Field on the blocker side sends it up at the point. Hunter Cope on a tee, sent it in, but he hammered it off the side of the Jamestown defender who went wide of the cage. 13:49 to play here in the second period. Still 2-1. Minot High with the advantage. Puck dumped in on Sortland. He made an easy stick save and pushed it to the corner there. Great to talk to Brent Borkus here tonight up in the booth. Gave you a pretty good look out. That puck comes up and into the seats right over top of us here. Brent Borkus gave us a pretty good insight to that region title game today. Brent's still standing here in the press box. If you had to pick, if you had to guess one, is it Century with a head shake yes, or is it Bismarck High with a head shake no, do you think? Who would it be? He says he's pulling for both. Probably a good assumption knowing how close those two teams played today. He doesn't want to get in any trouble, I don't think. Puck on the near side wing up to Opperud. Student section's loud this afternoon for the Magi, trying to make their 36th appearance to the state tournament. Puck is fired up by Deal and hit traffic in front of the net and out of play, so a face-off coming on Gerhardt's glove side.
Yeah, moments ago we just saw that top line for Jamestown with Thompson, Falk, and Nelson. You know, if you're Minot, especially with this young defensive core, you've got to be aware when they're on the ice, because they've been the only line that has really been able to have some zone time in the Magician zone, and they happen to have the only goal for Jamestown as well.
Here's a drive that came in from Mason Deal. It hit traffic and went wide. Down low, it's Stenberg that scrubs forward. Plemmel's out there with him and Deal. Plemmel's going to take the puck away from behind the net. Plemmel's got Deal wide open. One timer. Plemmel put that one about 6 inches too far to the right. That would have been on a tee for Deal. That would have been 3-1. Plemmel doesn't matter anyway. Gets it in front of the net and tucks it through the 5-hole. Minot High leads 3-1 as Jack Plemmel finds the back of the net, and Plemmel's got his 5th of the year, point number 12. And more importantly for the Magi, it's a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. And this line was buzzing down low. Lots of play below the goal line, making the goaltender move from left to right, threatening the crease, and a couple of opportunities later, it's in the back of the net.
12:51 remaining here in the second period. Minot High's up 3-1. Jack Plemmel. Plemmel's 5th of the year. Let's listen to Dan Sam. Thompson has it, fires it in. The stop is made. Filion's back in with it. He's got Murphy. Filion crashing towards the net on the right side of Gerhardt. That one never got towards the net as it comes back up, and Falk is going to cross into Minot High territory. Drive comes in, save rebound, loose in front. Sortland made 2 stops there. His 6th and 7th of the hockey game as Filion takes the puck from behind his own net and pushed up the wall back to Morelli. Here's Aiden Morelli as the Magicians are buzzing with Nick Murphy into the offensive zone. Sent it in front, and Morelli hauled up on his way to the net. Delay call coming. And here comes the Minot High power play for the second time of the game. First time of the second period with the 3-1 lead and just about 5 complete here in period 2.
Yeah, really nice movement by Aiden Morelli. You know, he's been a bright spot in this Magicians lineup. 14 goals, 7 assists, 21 points, and he showed why because he was going hard to the crease. You know, good things happen when you go to the net, and he was able to draw a penalty and give his team a chance to extend the lead on the power play.
Face off on Gerhardt's glove side. Comes back up to the point. Plemmel handles, worked it across, and Plemmel threw it out of the zone where Bohnbeek's back on the retrieve. Now Plemmel tries to work it back ahead to Stenberg, and Plemmel's got to come back into his own territory to retrieve it. Plemmel hits the brakes, back in behind Sortland. Minute 42 on the power play. 3-1 Minot High's up in this one as Plemmel starts the rush in. He's got the game's most recent goal. He's going to go coast to coast, wraps it around. He's got another one. He scores on the old Mario Lemieux wraparound, and it's 4-1.
Yeah, I suppose good things come in twos for the Magicians. You know, you have Kyler Stenberg who took control in the first and caught it too, and now it's Jack Plemmel. You know, he came into this game with only 11 points, 4 goals, 7 assists, but certainly doesn't look like a guy who only has 4 goals. Now he's got 6, and, you know, that all starts with taking your own initiative. Most of the time you want to set up on the power play, maybe try to find a better option, but, I mean, he took command there, went straight to the net, and extended the lead.
That's going to be an unassisted goal for Jack Plemmel on the power play. Good for him.
It's a power play goal, 5:26 of the second period. Skinner number 12.
Murphy make that Jaden Luck back in. Throws it towards Gerhardt. He makes the stop. Scrum on the defensive side of the ice for the Blue Jays. They clear it out to center. Gabe Thongfet's back to retrieve in his own territory. Thongfet up to Derwin Hauser. Comes back to Thongfet. Back in behind the net. Worked around to the far side. And Hunter Copes on the retrieve. Goes back over to Luck, the only freshman on the club for the Magi, but it's held in there by the Blue Jays. Not for long. Here comes Hauser out to center, right in front of the Magi bench. It's Isaiah Thongfet, 2 goals on the year for him. He dumps it back in behind Gerhardt. Hauser hard on the forecheck. He's going to cause trouble down low as it's going to be worked out here by Nick Murphy now. Murphy takes it away, centers it in front, no one home for the Magi, and the puck comes back away on the near side wall, chipped up there by Connor Rainey, and Rainey pushes it out to center. We're on the retrieve for the Magi. It's Riley Oprud that sends it in. Great conversation last night with Riley Oprud and yourself after the hockey game. Oprud, one of the better players on the ice for the Magi. You rewarded him with the conversation after. Pretty nuts and bolts from the sophomore. Here's a drive that came up and out of play off the shoulder of Gerhardt on the attempt from Hertz.
Yeah, it was a real pleasure to talk to Riley. You know, I had the opportunity to skate with him, you know, when I've been down here going to school, and he's just one of those guys that the future looks bright for him. You know, he's young, he's only a sophomore. You know, he's got really quick feet, moves really well laterally, which is what you want to see from a defenseman, and never afraid to shoot the puck.
He's going to come back into his own territory to retrieve it, but first at icing. 10:04 to play in the second. Minot High's up 4-1. Two goal scorers tonight for the Magi. Stenberg's got the first 2. Plemmel's got the next 2. The Magicians have a 4-1 lead. Yeah, when you look at Riley Oprud, he's a kid that I've said that all year long. His future is bright. You talked about his vocal leadership down there on the bench last night. You could almost assume that he's going to be one of those guys that might wear one of those A's or C's in the near future. 8 points for him in his sophomore campaign. 1 goal, 7 assists, but what I've liked about him the most is just the communication that I've seen, the visual stuff where he skates down and taps the goaltender after every goal they give up. But he's a guy that is just right there taking care of his goaltenders. And sometimes you don't see that a whole lot from high school defensemen, where you got to take care of the kid that wears number 35, number 1, or number 30, and that's a absolute must. Oprud does it well. Here's Morelli back in. He goes to the other end of the ice and fires up. That one off the protective mesh. And out of play, 9:22 to play in the second. Still 4-1 Minot High.
You know, with Oprud, and there's another guy that just had a really nice chance. You know, not afraid to take the initiative as a young guy with his sophomore crew and Aiden Morelli. You know, and it's so impressive to me to be able to see a young core step up at such a big school. You know, in Botno, we're so used to, you know, you take what you can get, but, you know, these guys work their way in the lineup, and, you know, they've definitely earned the opportunity they've been given.
Here's Plemmel. He's got a hat trick. Throw him to the ice for Jack Plemmel. Goes right back over to the student section to celebrate like Cupid shooting the arrows into the sky. He got the rebound, and it's 5-1 Magicians.
Yeah, you could almost sense this was coming. You know, you look at Jamestown after the 4th goal. You know, they weren't carrying the puck like they were in the first period. They were throwing pucks off of the glass, not moving their feet and making plays. And, you know, Jack Plemmel and Tyler Stenberg have made him pay so far with the speed game. The Magicians are starting to take over shots 20-8, and could be more with the opportunities that the Magi have had.
Well, we've been waiting for Jack Plemmel and Kyler Stenberg to frankly wake up, to say it bluntly. You look for those guys to do that, and they have done that at the right time of the year in the biggest situation. Let's listen in on the assist.
Assisted on the play by 22, Kyler Stenberg, and 24, Mason Deal. That's 12 from 22 from 24. Even strength, 743, and that's a hat trick for skater number 12.
Well, he's smiling and profiling right now, and it's 5-1 Magicians. They are in the driver's seat of this matchup here. Stenberg in front of the net from Deal. Too far in front of him on the pass, and Stenberg's got it back. Turns it towards the cage. That one went wide, and Hillman's down low where he works it back over to Stenberg. Stenberg out of Gretzky's office, trying to send it in front back to Hillman or Field. Comes back away here to Hillman. He'll just shoot this one up towards the glove side. It went wide, trying to clear the zone. Are the Blue Jays? They can't. Hillman holds it in. Right below the blue line, far side wall. This is the right side of the radio dial, down low underneath the goal line. Here come the Blue Jays back up to center. 8:10 to play in the second. Minot High had 2 in the first. The Blue Jays had 1 in the first. Since then, the Magicians have the natural hat trick from Jack Plemmel on 3 in the period, and it's 5-1. Sent in on goal. The stop is made. Gerhardt will hang tight. Face-off coming to his glove side.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that this has been Jack Plemmel's biggest period of his life so far. You know, given Minot from a 2-1 lead to a commanding 5-1 advantage, and you know, that's just, you know, good leadership skills that, you know, you love to see from this group.
Bogfat's back on the defense as Falk is in on the 2-on-1. Back in front of the net, a drive, and the stop is made. Big one there from Trey Sortland. That one had an opening at the 5-hole. Those CCM pads closed together quick. 9th stop of the hockey game for Trey Sortland. Still 5-1 Magi. 7:30 to play here in the second. If you're just joining us, winner goes to state, loser goes home. Winner of this game will be the 3 seed. Mandan punched their ticket earlier today with a 1-0 win over Dickinson. After this contest, the game won't be on the radio, but it will be on ProStyleProduction.com. It's Bismarck Century and Bismarck High. Delayed call coming here on the Magi. Arms in the air. Gerhardt's off. And now it's Hunter Cope to touch. Dwight Max roughing. And who's going to the sin bin? It looks like Derwin Hauser, or is it Hunter Cope? I've liked Hunter Cope for a couple years. His style of play, those gritty guys that anytime that you're not a natural goal scorer, you're not looked on to pick up that many points in a season. If you can do those other things right, Noah, in my mind, that just adds such an element to the game. Cope's actually leaving the box. Hauser's going in. but a guy that does the other things right, that could play a game where he gets in the heads of the opposing teams and draws penalties. Those guys are important as well.
You know, it kind of makes you think of a guy like Ashton Hillman. You know, those kind of guys, you know, they're instrumental in your lineup in trying to do the fundamental things to keep you in a hockey game.
This is the first power play of the afternoon for the Blue Jays. Trying to make their 20th visit to the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament. They've got some work to do, but here's Thompson, walks out, fires, either hit the blocker or the goalpost there of Sortland. 6:50 to play in the second. Minot High up 5-1, a minute 37 remaining on the first power play of the night for the Blue Jays. Worked over on the blocker's side of Sortland, and back with it is Bonebrake. He's going to take it. He'll launch it all the way out like a UFO, 200 feet. And big number 40, Gerhardt's back behind the net to play it. Interesting goaltender number 40.
Yeah, you know, I've seen some weird ones in my day. Seen, you know, number 2, number 19, the Edmonton Oilers. You know, I honestly, it doesn't matter as long as you're stopping the puck, in my opinion.
Puck taken here by the Blue Jays from back behind their own net. Williston's net keeper wears the number 2. Well, if it fits him, that's all that really matters. Puck is taken away here, shorthanded by Deal. He's going to walk in, turns it and fires it underneath the leg pads of Gerhardt, and Gerhardt just coughed that one right up from underneath the leg pads. They almost had a quick whistle. He tried to keep the puck in play.
Yeah, it was kind of a sneaky little move. It was almost so nonchalant that it even fooled the referee on there. Almost a heads-up play, and you know, if you're Jamestown, you know, this power play is crucial. This is a really big chance for you to get back in the game and change the momentum.
Blocker side of Gerhardt, 6 on the dot to play in the second. 45 seconds is what remains on the Jamestown power play. 5-1 Magi. They're looking for more. Stenberg turns it towards the net. Gerhardt robbed him. And right there on the doorstep was Mason Deal. And Deal and Stenberg touch gloves as if to say, nice work, keep it going.
Yeah, keep it going is exactly right. Teams can't climb back in the game if they're on the power play, but they're in the wrong end. You know, and the Magicians, they just haven't given Jamestown any chance for a solid footing to push the offensive production back on the opposite end of the ice. And, you know, it's been a phenomenal effort so far for the boys in white.
Handled here by the Blue Jays. They're in all blue this afternoon as the road team. They're going to be on the retrieve here. 27 seconds remains in their first power play of the night. It was a Derwin Hauser tripping call. Comes back to the Blue Jays as Mason Deals heavy on the forecheck here on the penalty kill. Comes up to center for Falk, and Falk's going to skate it in. Here's number 5, the captain, delivers the cross. Blue Jays set it up. Look out, Stenberg's going to have a clear look at the net. If he can soccer to himself, he's in. More of a one-on-one. Stenberg a drive all into the splits with Gerhardt, and he robbed him. Somebody called the cops as Stenberg bidding for the hat trick. Gerhardt slid across and made a save, and now we've got an offsides on the Magi. Stenberg goes down and gives Gerhardt out of the blockers. Nice sportsmanship there from Kyler Stenberg.
Yeah, definitely nice to see, and you know, that's why he's a leader on this team. You know, the little things, you know, we talked about with a young guy like Riley Opera doing those things, you know, setting that example, and, you know, almost had a bid for the hat trick there.
5:04 to play in the second. Minot High's up by a score of 5-1. Morelli make that 27 instead. That's Jade Luck. Those two guys are about the same size. Luck has a huge hit in the corner of the student section. Comes alive. Plemmel back in front of the net. Oh my goodness. Plemmel took a cross check right on the chin. Does that one draw blood? That might be a 5-minute major. They're just going to call him for a rough, but my goodness, Plemmel took the brunt of that. Into the sin bin goes Connor Rainey. That was vicious, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, definitely, especially a guy, you know, he's got the C on his chest. You probably don't expect to see that. You know, when you're trying to get back into a hockey game, you know, you've got to be disciplined on either side of the spectrum. And yeah, kind of a dangerous play, and, you know, definitely a no-no in hockey.
Fillion's in on the draw. He's out there with Morelli. This will be the third power play of the night for the Magi. They're 1 for 2. 1 for 1 here in the second. Shots are 24-10, Minot High. Fillion controls the puck, and on the far side wall, Fillion loses an edge. He goes down to his hip, but he moves the puck underneath the goal line somehow. Now it's held in here. Morelli's got it, walks out of the circle. Morelli sends it right into the breadbasket. He looks right to the rafters after he fires that one. Knew that he shot it right into the big Jamestown 40 across the chest.
Oh, Aiden Morelli, that was a logo seeker. And, the guy's got a quick chest, though. I think Aiden Morelli would have liked to have that back, but he's in the right place, and that's half the battle.
Face off for the top unit for the Magi with Operud along with Murphy at the point. It's Murphy handles near side. One-timer Operud sends it in. Howitzer, but he sent it wide. A minute 34 remaining on the power play. Morelli out of the corner. Sends it in front. Give and go. How do you like that? BEA beautiful. Aiden Morelli to Peyton Fillion, and it's 6-1 on a power play feed for the ages. Put it on the highlight reel. Morelli's got beautiful sense of direction, and he put that one on a tee, didn't he?
Yeah, interesting. Aiden Morelli has a chance to shoot around a goaltender, puts it right in the logo, but then threads a saucer pass and a beauty right on a tee. If you're producing offense, you're producing offense. Doesn't matter how they come. And this lead has stretched even more.
We'll list it in. I believe it's going to be Operud and Morelli on the assist for Fillion.
Assisted on the play by 17, Aiden Morelli, and 21, Riley Operud. That's Fillion.
That's what it is. Glove save from Gerhardt.
12:42 of the second.
Yeah, it's almost like, the game of hockey, Nick. You had that one right on a tee, called the play just like you saw it. And, Morelli, Operud, we've talked about him all night. It's just this young group. There's so much promise, heading into the end of this year and the beginning of years to come. It's just it bodes well to see a team in such a pressure situation and a young group of guys take control so far.
Well, Fillion picks up his 10th goal of the year here in his junior campaign, 28 points for him. Here's a drive from the line that caroms off the end wall, comes back to Hertz. Puck's going to go up and into the seats. Look out on a play. 3:48 to play in the second. 6-1, Minot High leads this one. When we talk about Stenberg and Plemmel and the conversation, you look to those guys after they had great years last year. Jack Plemmel as a sophomore had 14 points, 6 and 8 for him. Kyler Stenberg had 11 and 11 as a junior for 22 points. And coming into tonight's game, both those guys with 11 for Plemmel coming in, and then Stenberg had 10 coming in. You want to see those numbers at least double, and when they're two of the top guys on your club. Here out of the corner, stop is made from Gerhardt. He'll hang tight. When it's two of the tops on your club, you expect those points not only to double, but maybe to skyrocket in that situation. And they just didn't have that happen for them this year. And you know just as well as anybody that once that frustration level starts to set in, once you start to grip the stick a little bit more, a kid like Stenberg, who's been on this team for 3 years now, wears a C. He's a guy that he knows that he's supposed to have 44 points this year. He's not an idiot by any means. He's a hockey guy. He knows that he's not anywhere near where he should be. That frustration starts to come in and set in just a little bit more. Nice to see him and Plemmel really starting to unload him here in this game. If nothing else, a giant confidence builder for them, and that's the difference in the game here tonight. 6-1, Minot High's got the lead.
Yeah, as a shooter, you just got to relax and keep it simple. Frustration is, I believe, the most useless emotion in hockey because it doesn't get you anywhere. You just got to stay calm, trust in the process, and stick with it.
Back in, shorthanded deal, trying to set it off to Stenberg. Went wide of Gerhardt on the blocker side. By the way, the Jamestown Blue Jays are going to be good again next year. This West region next year is going to be fun to watch. Botno's going to be all right. Williston's young. Mandan's young. Century and Bismarck High will be good again. Minot High is going to be my pick to win the West. I think they're going to be solid. Back underneath the net, Hertz is going to handle here. Comes back to Thompson. Thompson out of the corner, turns it towards the net, and the glove save is made there by Trey Sortland, his 10th save of the hockey game.
Yeah, Trey Sortland, he's doing everything he needs to do. You don't want to give a team, especially who's on the power play right now, just any chance of hope of climbing back into this game, and Sortland just calms it down and regroups for the next faceoff.
Puck is hammered out by Riley Operud all the way down the length of the ice. Then Operud's got words for Tommy Falk as they skate all the way up to the bench. I love watching Operud play. He's got that edge I'm talking about. He's a stay-at-home defenseman that does it right back in his own head. But he's not afraid to get in the kitchen of the opponent. And it's a quality that if you're good at that, it's something that can definitely be a great piece to the game. Back in. Puck in front of Sortland. Bouncer goes into the corner where Hauser tries to move it ahead forward. Look out, suicide pass right in front of the center slot. The Magi net. Bonebreak trying to clear it. Doing a nice job there for the Blue Jays. Trying to move it forward was Joe Cummings, but it's back in about high defensive territory. Blocker side. Sortland makes a stick save down to the corner. 16 seconds on the power play with 1:50 remaining in the second. Minot High's up 6-1. Look out. Defenseman goes down. Operud's in on a 2-on-1. He's got a man with him in front of the net. Here's a drive. Stop is made. Hauser waited too long to pull the trigger as it was sent over there from Operud. On an excellent opportunity, Magi go back to full strength. Puck is taken here and worked away to the far side wall. Dumped in by Tyson. It goes all the way back underneath the net. Here's a drive coming from Murphy. Trying to pick the top corner. It went off of the shoulder of Gerhardt. And it comes back away to the far wall where Tice handles here. Now it's Mahoney that takes it away, and he's going to deliver back in about in high defensive territory where Hunter Cope's on it. Back in behind the net. He left it behind on the reverse. Nobody home for the Magi. Sortland's lost his stick. Thank you for the 1-minute call, Mr. Dan Sam. Icing is the call on the Magi as it goes all the way down the length of the ice. 54 seconds to play here in the second. Stick around for our first International Bank and Trust intermission report. We'll, as promised, deliver the update on the East Region tournament. We'll get you prepared for the West Region title match. We'll also hear from Jordan Willert, the assistant coach of the Magi. Blocker side of Sortland on the draw. 53 seconds to play here in the period. Backhand comes in and Trey Sortland sees it. Can of corn for him and he hangs on tight to it. Great job here at the Mesa Arena by everybody involved. Bob Gillen, the Mesa Arena manager, is also the statistician for North Dakota high school hockey. His work is certainly stuff that kind of goes underneath the radar as far as that stat stuff is concerned. He deserves so much credit for the promotion of our athletes in the sport of hockey. Side of the net, Nick Murphy sent it up. Comes back up onto the tape now for Thogfent, and Thogfent will handle here. Dumps it in, 25 seconds to play in the period. This is the second where the natural hat trick is the difference maker for the Magi from Jack Plemmel. Stenberg's got 2 in the contest. Fillion from Morelli's the other. Fillion tries for another. Got him down, kids. We're at 10 seconds right now. We're at 9, 8. The countdown is on. The drive is up. Went wide. Fillion's underneath the net. Comes back away to Morelli. Morelli, oh, robbery there from Gerhardt. Peyton Fillion sent it over to Aiden Morelli, and the glove save came up from the sprawling Gerhardt. He stones Morelli. It should have been 7-1, and that should have been Aiden Morelli's 15th of the year. The Bauer leather gets in the way of that. 1.2 seconds in the period. One more chance, maybe. Here's the horn, and at the end of 2, Minot High's in the driver's seat. You don't want to say it yet, but you're almost at the point where you can start to book your trip and your hotel room at Fargo for the state high school hockey tournament. It will be the 36th appearance for the Magi if they can hang on to a 6-1 win. Shots are 31 to 11 in the contest. You'd almost have to think that they are on their way here this afternoon. Noah Grant is going to be ice level with Jordan Willert in just a moment. We're going to try to grab Bob Gillen to see if he can come up and have a conversation with us here in the press box. First, we'll have Noah Grant with Jordan Willert ice level. You'd have to think that he's going to be happy after that period of play for the Magi that was dominated by the maroon and gold. Noah Grant is ice level.
Coach, you know, you had a big second period there, and thanks to a guy named Jack Plemmel, what can you say about him?
Yeah, I mean, Jack's a kid that, you know, he's been working pretty hard this year. You know, I think he's pretty hard on himself. You know, he's been a little bit down because he hasn't had the production that he wanted, and we knew it was there. You know, you pot one, and all of a sudden you just see he just gets going, and then 2 and 3 happen. But that line's been really good. You know, Plemmel, Stenberg, and Deal, they're just hounding pucks, holding pucks down low. The puck's down in our offensive zone. They're not going to score. And then we wear them down, and you find open ice, and you get pucks to the net, and good things happen. So Jack, it was a phenomenal period out of him.
Minot's up 6-1 going into the third period, but, 17 minutes left in this hockey game. You're not done yet. What's the key for the third?
Yeah, WDA tournament, right? Chance to go to state. Little things turn into big things, so pucks out, pucks in. Have a third guy, especially against that top line of theirs, because they like to go, get up and go. But we just need to keep doing what we're doing, keep grinding, keep working extremely hard, and hopefully things will take care of themselves.
Thanks for your time. Best of luck in the third.
No problem. Thanks.
There you hear from Jordan Willert. He was with our Noah Grant ice level, and confidence is in the voice and in the tone of Mr. Willert after 2 periods of play. 6-1 at the end of 2. Third period comes up next, but first, our First International Bank and Trust intermission report. Minot High on top of Jamestown. 5-goal differential. The Magi on top of this one. Let's go to our First International Bank and Trust second intermission report.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Vibeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork in their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed.
Welcome back to the Planet Pizza pregame.
Who know you by name,
Here with
First
the
Western
Century
Bank and
Patriots.
Trust. You can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Vibeto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank. It's time for the First International Bank and Trust Intermission Report. First International has you covered. Let's go back to the press box for the stats, analysis, and everything else Magi hockey.
Well, the names Jack Plemmel and Kyler Stenberg might be on the front page of the Minot Daily News tomorrow as the Magicians. Captain Stenberg had the first 2 tonight. Then you've got a natural hat trick from Jack Plemmel. Been a while since we've seen one of those. Plemmel gets a goal in the second period on the power play. He adds another one. 12:51 remaining was the time of the first one. Stenberg assisted on 2 of those goals. Deal has 3 assists, 4 assists in the hockey game. Add Deal into that conversation, my goodness. Minot High off and rolling 6-1 with 17 minutes left. That's all that separates them from their 36th visit to the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament. And what an important visit it is for the Magi. Their program And for the younger crew, the older crew, everybody involved, you just can't miss the North Dakota High School Hockey Tournament if you're the Minot High Magicians. It's a program that we talked last year about this. I had a little rant at the end of the hockey game that with a school this big and a program that has this much success at the youth level, you just have to be there if you're the Magi. And they're on their way to get back there right now with a young and hungry team that seems to be really clicking on all cylinders. Here's the recap of the scoring of this one. Minot High scored in the first period. They got the first goal. It was Kyler Stenberg that was set up by Mason Deal. Stenberg picking up goal number 7 on the year. Then Jamestown fired back. It was Jace Thompson's 19th of the year. He was assisted by Folk. Then with a minute 19 remaining in the first period, Stenberg grabs his second of the game. Morelli sets up Stenberg. Or is that Plemmel? I've got the chicken scratch up here. It's either a 12 or a 17. It would make more sense if it was 12. That's their line mate. We'll get the official sheet in a moment, but let's call it Stenberg for sure. It was Deal for sure that assisted him, and I believe it was Plemmel that had an assist on the second Magician goal. Into the second period we went, and it was a pretty even contest. In the first, Minot High outshot Jamestown heavily at 15-4. 13 saves for Gerhardt in the first, 3 saves for Sortland, but a pretty good hockey game back and forth. Only one penalty called. It was Minot High that got the power play. They went 0 for 1 in the first. Second period's a different story. Minot High out shooting the Blue Jays 16-7. 7 saves on 7 shots for Sortland, 12 saves on 16 shots for Gerhardt. Minot High gets 2 power plays. They go for 2 on the power play. They're cooking tonight. And the Magicians got the first of the second period at 12:51 remaining. It was Plemmel's first goal of the night. He was assisted by Stenberg and Deal. Then he gets another one on the power play. A minute and 10 seconds later, it's Plemmel's second of the night. Then he completes the natural hat trick later in the period. Plemmel comes into tonight's hockey game sitting on 11 points, 4 goals overall. He's got 3 down for 7, launches him up the scoring list for the Magi. Nice night for Plemmel. Deal and Stenberg again had the assist on that. And then on the power play late in the period, it's Peyton Fillion that picks up goal number 10 on the year, point number 28. Fillion from Morelli and number 21, Riley Opperud. We just got the official sheet up here in the booth, and yes, Jack Plemmel has 1 assist tonight and 3 goals, 4-point night for him. Mason Deal, 4 assists in the hockey game. Morelli's got 1 assist tonight. Plemmel has the 3 goals. You've got Stenberg that's got 2. Peyton Fillion with 1 tonight. Opperud with 1 tonight. And boy, the Magicians are cruising. 31-11 are the shots on goal. 25 stops for Riley Gerhardt. 10 on the other side for Trey Sortland. And that's where we sit after 2 periods of play. Brent Borkus joins us again here in the booth. And Brent, I wanted to pick your brain a little bit as we talked yesterday with Larry McFall. And Larry, the old school Minot High Magicians, 44-year veteran of Magi hockey. We had the conversation about out east and what happened with the coaching situation on the eastern side of the state. Bill Chase from Red River, the article online doesn't give a whole lot of information, but the word on the street is that some words were said that he probably shouldn't have said to his high school hockey group, and he was dismissed from his coaching position. Fargo Davies, they had 2 coaches there that decided that they no longer wanted to be involved with the program with the way things were going. Your thoughts being involved in high school sports and your time at Beck Sports and your TV broadcast and being around these high school programs. I know it's a unique conversation. It's an edgy conversation. It's an uncomfortable conversation. But here in 2019, I mean, we're seeing it across the board that times are definitely changing. Your thoughts overall in a nutshell, and how do you even want to handle a question like that? Like I said, it's just one that makes everybody so uncomfortable.
You got to remember the element here in this aspect is that the most important element we're talking about is kids. And I think you have to keep that in mind. How do you motivate? How do you, I mean, even as a parent, how do you motivate your kids? How do you discipline your kids? I mean, there's a specific way that you handle. I mean, we do studies upon studies of what's the best way to motivate. What are some of the negative aspects of a harsh discipline? I think you have to take that into respect, how you coach kids, how you raise kids. But one of the things that stood out to me as you guys were talking about that is You know, that may be an approach that your kids respond to, but when you're handling other people's kids, you're handling society's kids, your approach had better tailor to society, not society tailored to you.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer on it. And it's, again, it's an uncomfortable situation. Let's look at what the East region looks like with the new coaches out there. And starting on Thursday, the only games in the state of North Dakota were the West Region tournament games, because on Tuesday, the East quarterfinals play, they take place at the home team with the higher seed at their home ice. So Red River beat West Fargo 3-0 in the quarterfinals. Fargo Davies beat Fargo North 6-1. Central all over Grafton Park River 9-2. Fargo South Shanley beats up on Devils Lake 5-1. So when you go over to the East Region loser out games, it was West Fargo over Grafton Park River. So Grafton's season was done last night. Fargo North beat Devils Lake 5-2. So Devils Lake season was done yesterday as well. In the East Region semifinal, number 1, Grand Forks Central played Red River. I don't know if you heard this score, but 7-1. Central all over Red River, the number 4 seed. Central's the number 1 seed. Red River, the 4 seed. East Region semifinal, number 2. Fargo Davies shuts out Fargo South Shanley. That's an upset over there on the east side of the state. 3-0 the final score there. So what we have today, the West Region state qualifier, Jamestown and Minot. That's the one that we're in right now. 6-1, Minot leads that one. It was Mandan over Dickinson earlier today in a 1-0 nail-biter. So Mandan's into the tournament. They're going to be the number 4 seed out of the West. If Minot High can hang on the way they are right now, Minot High sitting currently with a 6-1 lead. They're going to be the number 3 seed. On the east side of the state, the East Region state qualifier, West Fargo and Fargo Shanley. That one taking place at 2:30. East Region qualifier as well. It's Fargo North and Red River. Winner moves on, loser goes home. And then in the East Region Championship, you've got Davies and Grand Forks Central. Larry McFall is ice level with Noah Grant. Let's see what Mr. McFall has to say today. Unable to join us for the broadcast with his ice operations duties. He's ice level with Noah Grant.
Larry, you've been down here ice side. You know, you've been able to see the action live. You know, what has impressed you so far within this hockey game?
Well, I was just worried after last night that the game might be very close and it would be one of those nail-biters. If you're a Magician fan, you don't want that. But they came out ready to play. They've been out skating them. They've been beating them to loose pucks. Got one guy with 2 goals, another guy with a hattie. Just an outstanding effort. You never know how teams are going to react after a loss on the first night, or the second night. So to have them come out and blitzkrieg a 6-1 lead is just outstanding for the Magicians.
Thanks for your time, Larry.
Yeah, thanks.
That's Larry McFall. He's normally up here in this chair you're sitting in right now, Mr. Borkus, but due to his duties here at the Mesa Arena Pepsi Rink, he's working his normal job. So Noah Grant got it before. Don't you love Larry McFall and his insight?
Well, he's probably got a comfy chair down there. He could just watch from the Zamboni doors at a... I think Larry nailed an important point for the Magicians. You want to get ahead of this one. There's so many times that you worry about doubts creeping into your mind. A few things I did want to comment on that I noticed from the first period there, Nick. I don't know that you guys drew attention to it, but I think Plemmel had a natural hat trick in, 5 minutes? How often do you hear about that? That sounds something of WDA hockey lore. It sounds like grubbish. It sounds like, the assistant coaches there, they've got some of it themselves. And another thing, really impressed with Trey Sortland. Not the fact that he's had 10 saves on 11 shots. Positioning. You can sprawl all day, but if you're in position, 90% of the work's done.
Back to the other end of the ice to start the third. Brent, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Makes some good points. By the way, John Grubb holds the record for the fastest 3 goals by one player. He did that in 1998 in 3 minutes and 16 seconds. That was in the region semifinals against Mandan, by the way. We're underway here in our third period. Delayed offsides on the Blue Jays, which has the Magi in real estate as they move it forward into the offensive zone. All the way down it comes. That's an icing on the Magicians. Let's set up the radio dial for you for the third. Minot High will travel from the right to the left, left to the right for the Blue Jays. Minot High's up 6-1. They get one more here, and this is going to be a run clock. Matt Stockert losing it on Dwight Mack over at the Jamestown bench. Wasn't happy about the hit that Stenberg put on Jace Thompson in the offensive zone. And Stockert is still giving it to Dwight Mack. Off the draw, slap shot. Blocker save there from Sortland. And back on the retrieve is Nick Murphy. Up to center ice. Fillian's in with Morelli on a 2-on-1. Here they are. Fillian turns and towards the net. Oh, he sent it wide. Comes all the way back into Magi territory. Where Gabe Thongfed goes off the glass and right back out to center. Now back away it comes to Fillian, near side wing, offensive zone, offsides on the Magi. 15:42 to play in the third. They're up by 5 at 6-1.
Yeah, important for them, to just be doing the fundamental things. It's not like it's a 3-2 hockey game where it's a nail biter and every little play counts, but treat it like one. Keep doing the little plays that are going to make your team better and prepare you for hopefully next week making it to state.
Derwin Hauser's out there along with Field. You've got Bone Break on the back end with Oprud. Hauser, Hillman, and Field, the young guns, up on this unit for the Magi. And on the retrieve back in their own territory is Big Ben Bone Break. Bone Break sends it around the near side boards, but it comes up to the line. Not able to hold it was Feebiger. Comes all the way back into the offensive territory for Minot High. And look out, right in on goal. The stop is made right on the side of the net. Two players go crashing to the ice, and Casey Field grabbing his hand. He went down hard, and this is those situations you get worried about where it's the end of the hockey game. Minot High and Jamestown with 15-16 to play here in this third period. This is where you want guys to keep cool heads and make sure that everybody leaves the arena today not injured.
Yeah, definitely, but nice job. This line does a really good job of going hard to the net, going to the gritty areas, and another good chance for them.
Feld makes a play where he has a hit, and then there's a scrum in front of the Jamestown goal with Hillman. He's in on it again, having a conversation with Falk. And Hillman and Falk continue to talk it out.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, Jamestown's going to get more and more frustrated, and you kind of got to stay out of the extracurricular stuff, Don't engage, know the situation, know what's at stake, and keep playing your game.
Just about 2 minutes into our third period with the Magicians up 6-1. Shots are 33-12. Nick Hulberg and Noah Grant, if you're just joining us here on 1390 KRRZ and at ProStyleProduction.com, the live audio feed of this one. We'll have the region championship game coming up next on ProStyleProduction.com. Just the audio for you. It will not be on Minot Radio due to the fact that it's two Bismarck teams that are playing for the region title today. Spread the word on Facebook to your friends in Bismarck or anyone in the hockey community that wants to hear that matchup. It should be a good one. We'll have the call for you. They split in the regular season, number 1 and number 2 in the West, and it should be a dogfight. It usually is when those two teams get together. Things are getting chippy in this one. 14-19 to play in the third period. Blue Jays with Mahoney back in the corner near side wing. Comes back away off of Hauser. Haven't heard the name Mahoney in a while. Jamestown's got one on their club. Comes back up to center ice, and it's going to be taken in front of the Minot High offensive net. In save, rebound, shot, and Tice has tucked it home to the back of the net. How about that for Jake Tice? Mark it up as his first as a varsity player. That's a big one. He sends it to run time. How do you like the celebration there from the sophomore Jacob Tice? You betcha.
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice, get your first of the season and, get the ball rolling, and what a better time to do it, And for the Magicians now, they're doing a good job. They haven't taken their foot off the gas, and they've just done all the little things right in this hockey game that needs to be done, and have definitely been rewarded for that.
Let's see if there's an assist.
Assisted on the play by 16, Ashton Hillman, and skater number 6, Casey Field.
Field and Hillman get the assists on the goal.
Even strength, 3 minutes into the third.
Yeah, nice to see that those guys get rewarded.
Here's a drive in front of the net. Gerhardt save, rebound, tucked down again. And the stop is made there for Mason Deal. 4-point night tonight for Deal, by the way. He's been in on for the goals, the natural hat trick for Jack Plemmel. Stenberg's got 2, and then he's got some assists in the game as well. Busy night for those guys. We'll have a tough choice for our Minot's Finest Collision Center stars of the game here this afternoon. 12:51 to play in the third. Big hit at center. Stenberg had the hit. Stop of the play. We are at run time at 7-1.
Yeah, we talk about who we're going to pick, for the start of the game, but I mean, there's so many guys that, were instrumental in this win. You look at, a guy like, Ashton Hillman, who did all the little things right, played his role well, got an assist on that last goal, and, it's just nice to see that, there's not really premier scorers or one guy that you can depend on for this, Magicians club. So, they won by committee, they're winning by, as a team, and, that bodes well when you're heading into the most important hockey of the year.
Morelli at center ice, had it, got it off to Hurt, so they dump it down. Back in behind the Jamestown net, 12:05 to play here in the third period. We are in run time. The Magi are up 7-1. Philly and trying to make it 8, but Gerhardt made the stop. I need to pick your brain on this and see what your thought is on it. Obviously, Century and Jamestown are different hockey teams, but do you feel like Minot High plays a different brand of hockey with the different goaltender in net? Do you see that at all?
Yeah, well, it looked like they were a little bit tentative tonight, and I don't know if it, Century's a little bit stronger opponent, but it kind of just seemed like, they didn't really bet on themselves right away and kind of sat back and hoped that, someone would step up and settle in for them, and it didn't really happen. And today, they were able to understand the situation and take charge right from the get-go.
Here's a drive from Philly, and he sent that one up, and the stop was made by Gerhardt. He's been busy, 36 shots on him tonight. 13 have come the way of Trey Sortland. Back to retrieve as Riley Oprud in his own territory. Now Nick Murphy. Now it's Philly and across, and it's going to be bounced ahead here to Aiden Morelli, and Morelli's into the offensive zone. Down low it comes. Offensive zone for Morelli. Tried to send it in front. Another good crowd on hand today here for this matchup for the Magi. Shot in, the stick save is made from Sortland in the D territory, blocker side. The venue holds 2,200. They continue to pack in here. We'll see if everybody sticks around for the region title game. You'd have to think that plenty of people will, just for the fact that it's supposed to be a real good one. Tyson Holyfield to the West region coming up next. 10:20 to play in the third period. Thogfent, this is Isaiah. He moves it in. Right in front of the blue paint. It's tied up there. Tice holds it at the line, but it escapes the zone now, and Tice has to come out and send it right back in. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting decision come tournament time at the Shields Arena next week, who they go with, Odie Nelson, or do they go with Trey Sortland? 9:58 to play here in the third period. Sortland's numbers are certainly better, and by quite a bit, actually, but the argument can be made that he has had some easier games, maybe, than Nelson has played. We'll find out what happens at state tournament time. Minot High is not going to win a state title this year. You can almost guarantee that. They're just not really at that level. Then again, you never know. No one thought they were going to do it in 2015. You want to win that first round game. You want to get into the TV round. Want to get these guys some confidence, the younger guys. I guess my big point to it all is that you've got a sophomore net keeper here with a sophomore-laden hockey team that has really hit their stride at the right time of the year. You'd like to get him groomed for the next years where Minot High will be a title contender. It's going to be next year that they're going to be a title contender. And the year after. Stamp my words and guarantee it. That's what I would do, I guess, is play the young gun. Here's a drive in front of the net. Comes all the way back out and down. Roller on the blocker's side of Sortland. Doesn't go down for an icing. Around 8:50 to play here in the third period. It's still 7-1. Tough decision either way.
Yeah, Trey Sortland, I just, I think it'd be a real confidence boost for him, to be able to roll in with this group and have that opportunity.
Minot High's going to touch. We're going to have a stop in the play. It will be, who is it, Derwin Hauser? No, it's Hunter Cope back to the box. Cope doesn't like the call. And now Dwight Mack's going to tee him up. Add 10 minutes out of the 2. The game has changed. Back in the day, even in high school hockey, you could say a few words to the refs. These days, you can't.
Yeah, definitely, trying to control the game a little bit more and have command. But, if you're Hunter Cope, know the situation. A 7-1 hockey game, there's probably no reason to get too animated about a whole lot. But regardless, a kill for the Magicians.
Only the second power play of the night for the Jamestown Blue Jays. Puck's going to roll all the way down.
2 minutes for roughing and 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike. Skater number 19.
Oh, so he only got a 2. 2 out of 2 for unsportsmanlike, so 4-minute major. Not sure of the rule on that. You would think the unsportsmanlike, isn't it usually a 2 out of 10?
Yeah, well, I mean, in my opinion, the unsportsmanlike should never happen because, you're here to play hockey. You're not here to, yap like you're on a Saturday night with your buddies. You got to be disciplined. You got to know the situation. And
in on Sortland it comes. He's going to be forced to make his 15th save of the hockey game. 7:09 ticks away here in the third. But I don't recall a 2-minute unsportsmanlike penalty. It's usually a 2, then the 10-minute as well. So Dwight Mack gives him a break without the 10. Is that right in your mind?
Honestly, I don't think there's many people that would complain at this point. But I guess I have to check the ruling. I'm still trying to get used to the fact I'm still used to the no change after icings that I'm used to from college. So that's I have to brush up on my high school rule book for sure.
Don't mean to put you on the spot, and that's the thing when you do college games and high school games, youth games. There's different rule book for all of them.
Yeah, especially when you jump levels, and I've seen these officials have to jump between levels and that sort of thing. It takes a lot to have to know the intricacies of the way each league works.
Here's Thompson in, sends it in front of the net. That one was tipped by Folk, but he tipped it wide. 6:14 to play here in the third. Rolls all the way down on Gerhardt. He's just going to fall on it as Fillion was crashing in. Minot High will win this hockey game this afternoon. They're in run time at 7-1, and time on the hourglass is run up for Matt Stockert's hockey team. 19 trips to state. They went last year after they took a 5-year hiatus from 13 up to 18. They're not going to make it again this year. Minot High is going to go back for the 36th time to the state tournament. Jamestown will fall to 8-14-1 overall. That's how their season will end. Minot High will improve to 12-11 in the 2018-2019 campaign, so they rise above 500 as they head to the Shields Arena for the state high school hockey tournament, which will be next week. We still have 5:20 to play here in the third period, however. Minute 19 remains on that call to Hunter Cope. This one launched in from center. Gerhardt gloves it. He'll hang on to it. And the faceoff will come on Gerhardt's blocker side.
Yeah, Gerhardt, he didn't have a lot of, goal support for sure tonight. I think he played well. He's 8 shots away from 1,000 shots against, this season. So, for him, he definitely had an exceptional year, and, it bodes well for this Jamestown team.
91.7% save percentage. That's a good number. Anytime you're above 90, you know that things are going well for you, especially when you get peppered that much. There's more to the math equation than just, hey, here's my goals against and my save percentage. Let's look at the fact that you were on the number 4 team in the West region, and you had to play some teams that certainly put the lumber to you a few times, like Bismarck High and Century, and tonight Minot High's done the same thing. Falk's going to walk in, slap shot, hit traffic in front. Comes back away to the near side wing, and it's going to be taken by Thogfen. He just whistles it all the way down. Never like to see a team not qualify for the state tournament. It's a heartbreaking experience. You've been on the losing end of that before. Minot High and a group of these guys were there last year as well that didn't get to go to the tournament.
Full strength, 5-on-5.
The biggest thing with that too is
back in. Hertz is going to fire one on. Pad save, rebound in front of the net. Luck handles again. Sorry to interrupt you. Minot High buzzing in front of the net, but here come the Blue Jays again, and a breakaway. Jace Thompson's in all alone. Thompson turns it on, and Sortland stoned him. Big save there from Trey Sortland, a confidence builder if nothing else. 3:35 to play here in the third, and the top gun from Jamestown was in all alone on Trey Sortland. Delay call coming. Magi touch now, and Hertz is going to the sin bin. Nice save as Thompson bidding for his 40th point of the year.
Yeah, really nice save. That's just, what you like to see. Never say die attitude, even if you're up by so much. And, when you go back to Jamestown, it always stings to lose and have to go home. But, I've been on the end of a couple of state qualifying games where we lost by, a goal late. And I honestly think I'd rather lose big than lose small because, those ones are real heartbreakers. But, kudos to the Blue Jays. They definitely had a great season. Strong goaltender. They have a lot of promise, coming up in their group that they have here. And, hopefully we'll see them have a nice push next year.
Back in behind the Jamestown net. Puck is set up here by the Blue Jays. They work with 2.5 to play in the third. They're down 7-1. We'll have a shortened version of our Pro Style Productions postgame show here tonight, as Bismarck Century and Bismarck High will move into the press box and get this one underway. We'll have coverage of that one as well. Some other things that need to be done up here in the booth, the light show and all sorts of stuff. So it will be a shortened version tonight. We'll just jump right into it after the next 2 minutes and 3 seconds expires off the clock. We will have our Minot's finest Collision Center stars of the game and the recap of this one. Slap shot from the Jamestown offensive line. That one was hammered towards the net by Feebigger. Went down to the corner now, and out comes Thompson. Thompson's a thick kid, and he has some hands on him too. With 39 points on the year, that's certainly maybe an understatement. He's only a sophomore, by the way. Keep the look on for him. Jamestown will be good next year. Minot High is going to be even better. Jamestown season will be done in 1:30. Minot High goes to the state tournament. Minot High will be the number 3 seed. Sounds like they may end up with a date with Red River if that's who comes out of there. It's actually going to be Davies that Minot High will play. Minot High will be the 3 seed. That means Fargo Davies is the opponent. Stamberg trying for the hat trick, couldn't tuck it home. Here's Dan Sam with the 1-minute goal and the final time. You're looking, was Dan sleeping?
Yeah, might need a little nudge down there. There it is.
He's got the best PA voice. I think he's awesome down there. He was 10 seconds late. We're down to 44 seconds to play in the third. Front of the net. Deal wants one of his own. Tried to tuck it towards the cage. Couldn't do it. Comes back away now. Out of the tape for Jaden Luck. We're at 30 seconds to play in regulation as the Blue Jays bring it back in. Mason Deal having a conversation in front of the net there with Joe Cummings. Things are getting rough at the end. Stemberg wants his hat trick. 20 seconds left. He carries it down. Stemberg towards the front of the net. Loose in front. Oh, robbery again. Lock shot that one right into the glove. 10 seconds remain. That's going to do it tonight. Minot High's going to state. Cut them down, kids. 6, we're at 5. The fans start to cheer. The Magi rush the ice. 7-1 the final tonight. They go back to the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament. Pro Style Production post-game shows right around the corner. We'll have a quick recap and then get you set up for the region title match. Minot High wins 7-1. Stamp it. Get your hotel rooms booked now for Fargo. They're going back to the state tourney with a big win today.
Presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank.
Throughout the areas we serve, First International Bank and Trust employees are actively involved in helping our customers and communities grow. This is Kevin Vigestad from First International Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Whether it's coaching a Little League team, leading through involvement with nonprofit organizations, or a proud Beaver booster, know that all of us at First International Bank and Trust are committed to giving back to the places where we live and work.
Hi, my name is Marshall Knopp. I'm the manager of the UPS store here in Minot. I've had many customers express being frustrated with the P.O. box they once had. They didn't realize they couldn't have packages delivered to their P.O. box. It's why they now have a personal mailbox here at the UPS store. We'll accept the packages for you, and you can pick them up when it's best for you. For a more efficient business, visit us at the UPS store. We are at 1940 South Broadway or online at theupsstore.com.
Hello, I'm Steve Funningsland, consumer lender at First Western Bank and Trust and sports enthusiast. Employees at First Western know the importance of teamwork and their day-to-day banking duties to best serve the community. I know the Minot and surrounding area high school and college athletic teams know the importance of teamwork as well. We want to wish all local teams good luck in their athletic endeavors this year. Stay safe on the courts, on the fields, on the rinks, and in the gyms. We look forward to watching you succeed. With familiar faces you know, who know you by name, First Western Bank and Trust, you can bank on us, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This presentation on the Pro Style Production Broadcast Network is brought to you by IMM, Minot's finest collision center, Premier Chiropractic, Ralph's Plumbing and Heating, Qdoba Mexican Grill, Shields, Buffalo Wild Wings, Libetto Orthodontics, Duffy's Hockey and Sports, Bremer Bank, the Minot Hockey Boosters, the UPS Store, Planet Pizza, United Agronomy, Homesteaders, First Western Bank and Trust, Granite Springs, and First International Bank. It's time for the Pro Style Production DJ Services postgame show. Make your event Pro Style with the Pro Style Production DJ Services team. Visit ProStyleProduction.com and make your event Pro Style. Now, the Pro Style Production post-game show. Here's Nick Hulberg and Larry McFall.
Minot High stamps their ticket to the state tournament with a 7-1 win over Jamestown. Jamestown goaltender Riley Gerhardt sets a tournament record, the WDA, for the most saves in a tournament after he picks up 113 in the tournament. Peyton Berger had the record from Mandan in 2005. He had 109. Post-game show brought to you by Pro Style Production DJ Services. It will be a quick one tonight. Let's give you the recap of the scoring. Minot High scored first. It was Kyler Stenberg assisted by Mason Deal. And then it was Thompson on the other side for Jamestown that evened the score with his 19th of the year. He was assisted by Falk. Then Minot High scored again, this time a minute 19 left in the first. It was Stenberg from Deal. And getting an assist on the first one for, the second one for Stenberg as well was Plemmel. Then we went into the second period. Minot High was up 2-1. They came alive, and they had the natural hat trick from Plemmel, 3 in a row. Plemmel. One of those was on the power play. Stenberg assisted on 2 of them. So did Deal. One of them was an unassisted goal. Then on the power play again in the second, it was Fillion from Morelli and Operud. We went into the third. Tice gets a goal, his first as a Magi skater and a varsity skater for Minot High. Hillman and Field get the assists on the play. Waiting on the official shots on goal up here in the booth, but final score tonight, Minot High wins 7-1 over Jamestown. Your thoughts on the hockey game? Magicians, well played here tonight.
Yeah, well played against the goaltender who definitely has been proven. Unofficially, he was 2 shots away from 1,000 shots against on the year. So, Riley Gerhardt, kudos to him for, a strong season. But, for the Magicians, they played their best hockey of the weekend, and it came at the right time. And, if you're Easton Bennett, John Grubb, Jordan Willard, you're happy that your team has slowly gotten better over the weekend. And, that bodes well for, heading into next week. You always want to, it's not about November hockey, it's about February hockey.
132 saves in the tournament for Riley Gerhardt. I misspoke. That's the tournament record. He shattered the 109 from Berger. 132 stops, good for him. Final saves in this one, 36 for Gerhardt, 17 for Trey Sortland. 18 shots on goal. The Jamestown fired the way of Sortland. 43 Minot High put on the net. 36 saves there.
It's time for the Minot's Finest Collision Center stars of the game. Minot's Finest Collision Center. We are Minot's Finest.
Tough choice at the top of the list tonight. It's pretty easy when you look at who the 3 will be tonight with guys with multiple point nights, but one of them's got a natural hat trick. The other one's got 4 points, 2 and 2. The other one had 4 assists. It was the playmaker behind it all. Our Minot's Finest Collision Center stars of the game. Mason Deal with 4 assists tonight. He's certainly in the conversation. Kyler Stenberg goes 2-2. He gets the game-winning goal, the first 2 of the night for him. Stenberg with 2 goals, 2 assists. He's in the conversation. But anytime you get a natural hat trick, you should be the star of the game, and he had an assist for good measure. Jack Plemmel will be the star of the game tonight. Stenberg, the second star, and Mason Deal, the third star of the game. Any argument there?
No, not at all. I mean, Jack Plemmel, what a time for him to come alive in terms of getting on the score sheet at the right time. You know, it's a big, leadership boost for him, and Kyler Stenberg as well, also with a solid game. Big leader on that team, and just an all-around good team-building win for the Magicians.
Minot High's going back to the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament. We'll have all the radio coverage for you on 1390 KRRZ. Myself and Larry McFall will be there with the coverage. Visit the Pro Style Production Facebook page for updates. We'll have it on ProStyleProduction.com as well for the online broadcast. That's going to do it for the radio broadcast of Magicians Hockey through the West Region Tournament. We'll be at the state tournament next week. Minot High will be the 3 seed. Unless there's an upset out east tonight, they're going to play Fargo Davies in the opening round. We hope you join us then. For Noah Grant, my broadcast partner tonight, and everybody that joined us here in the broadcast, including Jason Bennett, Mr. Jordan Willert, and Larry McFall, I'm Nick Hulberg signing off for this one. We're getting ready for the region title game. You can listen to it online at ProStyleProduction.com. It's Century, number 2 seed out of the West, taking on Bismarck, the number 1 seed. It's going to be an absolute barn burner. We hope you come back and join us at ProStyleProduction.com. Final of this one. Minot High wins 7-1, 36 trip to the North Dakota State High School Hockey Tournament. We'll have the coverage next week. If you don't join us for the title game, good night and God bless.